watch me speak. About to take over your screen. Talking bulls in 93. Talking mama, I'm on TV. Y'all know all I do is me. All I do is me. Y'all sit back and watch me speak. Y'all sit back and all I know, my money green. About to snap and make a scene. My cup off and make this free. My cup off and make them scream. Go back off for TMZ. Y'all sit back and watch me speak. Y'all sit back and watch me speak. Y'all sit back and watch. Watch me. Watch me. Watch me. Sit back and watch. Sit back. Sit back. Sit back. Sit back. Money long, nothing on credit. I got.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Tenax series season number 5. It is grand finals time. My name is Soren. Joining me on the desk today is 0-0. How are we feeling going into the grand finals?
I'm excited. I am very, very excited, Soren. We have a best of 5 today on our hands. Team Kinetic going up against Catnappers, and I think it should be an exciting day for this match. I mean, both of these teams started in the playoffs not as that top seed, had to win out both of those series. We got to see Kinetic a little bit, and man, I think it's going to be an absolute banger matchup today. But it's good to have you on as well for the grand finals. It should be an exciting cast we got. And yeah, I'm excited to get into it, man.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, these two teams are actually going to be pretty familiar with each other. They have played each other, saying as they are both coming out of Group A. Group B, no teams besides their first seed, who obviously got a bye, made it out of quarters. And then obviously, Exalted Monarchs didn't make it past Catnappers. So it is a Group A affair here with the second and third seed. So I think if people had a betting pool, I don't know if this is what people would have ended up with being our grand finals, but I'm really excited for it. We obviously saw Kinetic's run throughout the entirety of the playoffs yesterday, and to say they were dominant, I think is a bit of an understatement. But that being said, Catnappers are no joke. They are a really good team. They're a very well known and respected team as well. So if there's any team that's going to put an end to this tyranny from Kinetic, who, by the way, it's the exact same roster that we saw yesterday. The subs that were playing then are playing again today. So it is going to be that same team that went on that dominant tear. But if there's any team that's going to stop them, it is Catnappers team.
It definitely is. I mean, they've beaten them 2-0 in their previous encounter. That was a 15-13 win on Lotus and then a 13-8 win on Bind a few weeks back. So a very close matchup, to be honest. I mean, it could have gone either way for sure. I do believe, like you said, For Your Sake or Oppie will be in today, subbing in still. And I think as well, these new patch changes, who know how this outcome or what the outcome is going to be and how this match is going to go. I think especially riding off of some of that momentum that Team Kinetic had yesterday, I think they're going to be feeling good, but I think Catnappers is going to be feeling the exact same way.
Yeah, absolutely. But again, everything previous to this is, I don't want to say unimportant because it is still important, but it is a best of 5. So the best of 3 situations are completely different. Now you need to win all 3 in order to get there. Speaking of that best of 5, we do have the maps to display here. Obviously, Sunset and Abyss are going to be our first 2 bands. Then we're going to be going over to Lotus, then the Haven, then Bind, then Ascent, and Corrode. Obviously, Ascent and Corrode are going to be the ones up in the air, depending on whether or not we have a 3-0 or not. But we're at least going to minimum get a Lotus, Haven, and a Bind. Bind is very fun and interesting. We haven't seen that yet. Lotus and Haven, not so much. We've seen a lot of that in the last 2 days.
Just a little bit.
Series. Yeah, both series had them. I think we saw both of them get played out in both series yesterday.
Yeah.
So we've already seen 4 of that pair of maps. So definitely looking forward to Bind. I am very hoping that this is going to be a very long series. I hope it's a little bit more competitive than some of the games yesterday, because I would really like to see. So I love a game 5. I would love to see Corrode, but we are going to be going over the Lotus first.
I would love to see Corrode as well, but like you said, Lotus will be that first map pick, and then we'll be headed over towards Haven. And then I honestly think yesterday Catnappers were playing a lot of Abyss, so Kinetic comes straight out, ban it. Don't want to let that come to be and play around with that. So honestly, I respect that ban coming in here today. And Sunset, maybe just something Catnappers isn't super comfortable with. Kinetic did pick up that 13-2 victory. But if we're looking at the forefront of this, I think honestly, Kinetic is looking really strong here. They like this the order of these maps coming out. Binds, they did lose 13-7. We haven't seen them play it in a little bit, but Lotus and Haven, if they can start off strong and get a good bearing on these first two maps, I think they're going to be set up straight because they're only going to need to close out one more. And we saw how much success they had on Ascent. And I don't know, something could slip through the cracks, but honestly, don't want to call it too early, obviously, because I think some of these players on the Catnapper side definitely have to pay their respect. We got to see all the Kinetic players yesterday, but Catnappers has Oz, Arthur, Lazy Lion, Cora, and Angle. And I mean, these players have been on those top tier GC teams that have played in main event, as well as some of these players who are some of the most underrated in the entire scene. So the individuals like Arthur, like Oz, definitely going to be coming in here today and trying to prove themselves.
Yeah, absolutely. And notably here, at least for me, something to keep in mind is the fact that Kinetic are actually going to be on defense for the first three maps. That is a side in which we saw them really kind of dominate. The only time we really saw them falter in that regard was that first map where they had a really dominant attack side on Haven, but then struggled on the defensive side. But again, at that point, they still hadn't even realized that the new patch had come out. So they were still
That
getting
was the
used to
funniest
a
moment,
lot.
man. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but
That'd be fun.
I do think that's something that's gonna have to be taken into account as we do go into agent select here. You can see I'm not seeing anything too crazy. That Tejo being piloted by Os, I think is gonna be something to keep an eye on. Tejo obviously falling out of the meta, but with the most recent changes in the last patch, could be a lot more viable as a lot of
Yeah.
agents have been kind of brought down to earth. I think Tejo got a little bit of a buff as well as an indirect buff because of that as well.
Yeah, his relative power definitely increases whenever you compare it to initiators with regenerative util, and he was already pretty good just generally, especially here. I mean, we got to see G2 still play the Tejo every now and then, as well as a couple other teams in that tier one scene. So definitely has his uses. The main thing I'll be looking at is the difference between For Your Stake on the Viper and Oz with that Tejo, so you don't have that secondary controller. Really going to be leaning in towards the Clove, and I'm going to be watching out for Cora to kind of be that enabler because the smokes, you don't really have that large of a range. So definitely could have a little bit of an issue. We do unfortunately have to go straight into a tech pause. I think just a little disconnect. So we should be getting in soon. But I think as well, I know we touched on the map or the balance changes yesterday just slightly. But something we didn't really mention was the Killjoy changes compared to the Vice changes. I know Vice definitely got super heavily nerfed with that shear wall, as well as the arc rose just getting almost its entire usability taken away from it. You don't have the initiator-esque utility anymore. You can shoot the flash while it's going off. So it's really now designed as an anchor tool to help you fight on site rather than an info tool. But Killjoy, on the other hand, you still have every single bit of the same amount of utility. The only real changes that happened to her was a little bit of putting up the util takes a little bit longer, retracting it, and then obviously the cooldowns for after the the turret has been shot. But that's just a standardization across the board. So I think Killjoy, honestly, it makes a lot of sense that we start to see teams fall back towards her, and I think we'll continue to see her throughout the rest of the day if this is something we're seeing early on from Catnappers.
Absolutely. And it does look like both teams are back in and ready to go. So the game should be starting up here quickly. I personally am super excited to see Killjoy have a chance to get back into the meta.
Yeah.
Killjoy was one of my favorite agents. I one-tricked her for the longest time when I was first starting out. She's a super fun, super expressive hero, or I guess agent, sorry. Too much Marvel Rivals. Just a super expressive agent to pilot. But looking over at this defensive side of Kinetic, I am intrigued by that Vice. I think you already mentioned it, but a lot of the information gathering tools have been kind of gutted out. Which with the rest of it, obviously Fade is pretty good for information, but it's not outright an information. Agent, you can get it with the Haunt, but besides that, that's really it. And the Nightfall, which is good, but that's based on the ults. So you really only get one chance, where with that flash on Vice, you used to get it a lot more often. So I think there's going to be a lot of lacking for information for this defensive side. But I don't think it's going to be too much a problem. I mean, Kinetic were known for that Roman-style defense, which is the best defense as an offense.
Oh my
As we
God.
see here, as Logic just puts down Lazy Lion. Angie does find some on the flank, but they continue to try to push this Rebel space and get punished for it, as Logic has gone nowhere and continues to hold that line.
And already dominating over towards A main early on here in the half for Kinetic. Something that we really saw them
Dropping spike.
find success in and pretty much just take the entire map victory on over Skyline Otters yesterday in map number 2 of that series. And so we know they are so successful here. It's already looking like it's going to be another key points of success. But Korra trying to jiggle out that sheer wall. Will bait it out for the time being, but I don't think this is going to be the end destination. Just opening that door, trying to cause some of these players to rotate over, but already some of these players are already so low on HP. Arthur only 11 HP, Korra on 46, so this is really dangerous territory as time starts
30
to tick
seconds
down
left.
for the attackers here.
Yeah, and we do see, this is something that we saw a lot coming out of Kinetic last time around, is where they would go, they take those early aggressive fights, get the man advantage, and then back away. We saw them diverge from that a little bit at the start of this, seeing as they had one on B and one on A. But we see them both back away, so they're stacked up 2 and 2, give this B site over, but now
look at
it
it.
grants them so much room for the retake.
Player standing.
As they just are able to swarm in. They don't even really need to swarm in, as the Logic is there to meet the aggression as they try to push out towards Waterfall, but run into the 2. I mean, it's just a really good defensive strategy, and it's one of the reasons they were so dominant on the defense yesterday, and it looks like they're going to try to take that same strategy to success today.
And Logic already able to get 4 kills in that round, pick up an ult orb, and the defuse for 6 points on their ult. So very quickly on their way to a showstopper here to try to start snowballing early. And we know how, I mean, so much of their dominant success yesterday was based on them just being able to convert the pistol and then convert the bonus over and over and over again. Still on the other side, there's a little bit of danger here, Soren. You know, we got 3 sheriffs, so not anything out of that, but for your sake, I mean, great shot over towards Mounds, and it's going to have 2 players here to set this one off, and Logic already farmed that orb up and rotating over. So I think this is going to be an interesting battle here. If they can start this snowball of ultimates early and continue this out throughout the half, I just gotta say here, but
The grenade just goes a little bit wide, doesn't give them much room to breathe. The Lazy Lion on the push out finds 2. The Logic is there with the Sheriff, is able to get 2, and now Arthur, in this 1v2 situation, was able to scavenge up a Spectre. That being said, Fell and Goggles, last 2 remaining on this defense, have them as well. And they're going to play super patient here. Very smart from them. They're expecting maybe a push into Waterfall, so they double stack up. They're going to Prowler into the back just to make sure that there's no one wrapping up behind them. And this patience seems like it's going to pay off dividends. There we go. The patience grants them the kill, grants them the round. They're able to take 2 Spectres into the next. 2 people who didn't buy out, so they're going to be able to buy some hero rifles as well. They're looking to do it again, possibly pick up yet another bonus.
And this is what, that was a perfect example over towards Waterfall of what was giving them so much success. They're so good in these retake moments where they have player advantage. They're so willing to just let the plant go down, fight together, and they're able to convert those situations time and time again. The Thrifties really are not coming out against them. So Logic actually just opting for Guardian still. Like I said, has that showstopper in hand, crossed over towards that mound box. But I think with the one-way being put up, it's a little just maybe disincentivizing for the attackers here, not wanting to overcommit too much and push into anything. And there's 4 players here for Catnappers, and breaking that wall just for the time being to cause a little bit of disillusion. Lazy Lion will be the spearhead of this split here on the B side.
catch them.
Okay. Not seeing that Prowl is going to give away a lot of information, especially after that door break. But that Haunt's going to give away even more. And the plant goes down on B.
They use such little util to actually get on the site. Specifically, Oz here still has both salvos. I think they might still have nade. Lazy Lion gets another kill.
Bring them down.
Okay, Spooky on the backside. I don't know if they're expecting this flank from the Killjoy, but they will read it. Logic finds one, Fell on site finds two, puts it into their advantage. 2v3 now. Spike is still down though. They're running out of time. They're trying to play for this post plant, but they don't have the lineups. Spooky finds the one sitting by door. Spooky's able to clean up the one up top. What a defuse is going through. I don't even know if they got that kill, if they would have been able to stop Logic from the defuse. And they get it. Yet another bonus converted for Kinetic as they continue their reign of terror. Logic, by the way, 7-1-0 after 3 rounds. Insane performance from the Rays.
So strong here. And, I mean, that Showstopper came in and Fell as well, picked up 2 kills with the Spectre. I'm not sure how that one ended up going, but on the other side, Catnappers are actually going to be forcing down here Arthur Hero Rifle in hand, and it's going to be an all-out brawl here over towards main. Again, already separated.
Okay. Investing a lot of util to dump onto Goggles. We see that aggression and Fell like they through the smoke, finds it, tries to take the door. Lazy Lion doesn't go their way, have to back away, a little bit of damage taken. No one gets hit by that drone, but Logic is just farming them on rubble. Finally, Lazy Lion, their own Rays, has something to say, but now it's a 2v2, and I don't think they have the read. The trigger discipline, they'll know one's there, but they don't know where the other one is. Lazy Lion needs to play this super carefully. Also, no control of Spike, but they don't know where to look. That's 4 rounds in a row now, as that wallet is getting bigger and bigger for this Kinetic side. It's going to look like there's at least one more good buyout from the side of Catnappers. This is a must-win round for them now.
It certainly is. I wouldn't hate to see something of a timeout or a game plan switch up, but 2 big ultimates to come into this one with the Not Dead Yet and the Showstopper, and Lazy Lion doing a great job there, honestly, to kind of pull those crosshairs. But it's going to be another early brawl over towards A main. And really, there's been nothing to stop Team Kinetic from winning this out over series over series.
Yeah. They do take a lot of space. Drop the boom bot. Doesn't find anything except another boom bot to play with that also won't be finding anything. Both teams are aware there's presence here in A. Seeing the Tejo utility use great effect, clearing out corners as Cora's gonna take a little bit of chip damage, but Fell sitting in the door, dealing with a lot. Is gonna find that decay, but not find the kill. But Goggles and Logic sitting on site, holding it down. They're waiting for that revive. It will come through. Cora needs to get away, running out of time. No, I don't think it is. Oh, they will find him. Oh, okay. Makes this a 2v2. Makes this a much more winnable round.
Yeah, definitely
Cora
so.
did take a lot of damage, though.
It's one noted with that alarm bot as well. Double mollies in the back pocket of Angie, so it's a lot to work with. Cora wanting to make an aggressive play and go walkabouts, and the timing is perfect. It's going to be a wrap from stairs, and if Angie can delay here, it might just be a perfect play.
Okay. The post-death smoke does come out here, but I don't think they had the read on the Clove. No, they don't. Core going crazy. Spike is down for post-plant. 46 to spot it. 1 health with the decay.
Could have to be an ace.
Don't fake. There's no way. Oh, they get off! And Cora mows them down for the ace. It's a close call, but they get it. Stop the hemorrhaging. And they get their first round on the board there.
An insane clutch there from Cora. Masterfully played with the wrap over towards heaven. And the flank is just not expected, so they get themselves a lifeline here. Another purchase to play into this one. And Logic, even though, I mean, they had that showstopper round 2, I believe, already only 1 pip away. And so back towards this A main fight. This time, there's no real follow-up from this defense. We were seeing a lot of that against, or in the matchup, excuse me, against Skyline Otters, but this time it's really just sitting that utility and allowing Lazy Lion to cross over. But here, it's actually going to be a re-clear of space for your sake in a very committed spot.
It's actually going to be read pretty well as two players are sitting by mound to rotate over from the attack side, being waited on by that Viper and Vice. That's a very, very strong sight hold combination as Lazy Lion. The line of defense is going to give away their location, but is going to be able to get out. I don't think they're aware that both Goggles and Logic are sitting there. This attack side stalled a little bit. They're at 45 seconds roughly.
Gosh.
Oh, chips in the night.
It's not watching for it. It's watching the B main so they can get this wraparounds, but there's a lot of utility and a lot of pressure here on site.
Oh my god, the shot to the air finds Lazy Lion, and the showstopper goes super wide, and then the flank goes crazy. Logic, and for your sake, clean up shop. 3 for your sake. Oh my. They're just rats in a cage stuck on mound. And they weren't even expecting the one on the flank because the turret wasn't watching for it.
It's so unfortunate. I don't think Angie bought maybe an alarm bot, which is why it wasn't posted over towards C. I'm not sure the exact reasoning, but a beautiful shot onto Lazy Lion. And then it just all collapsed on top of these Catnap players. So back down to an eco. Arthur forcing up that hero rifle here with Armor to try to maybe get something done.
Bring them down.
Same send of util. Goggles spots out at least one over towards B main. It's that Prowler, but need to get something going here. They made out the wall, which is good. We've continued to see that happening, but for your sake, actually going in aggressive with that door opening and
okay. Shots being traded out. It's a 2 for 1 in favor of Catnappers here. So try to take space over on C, but Goggle has the read. It's gonna make this a 3v3. It's not great for the retake, but it's been a lot of damage. And Logic finds 2. Spike did get planted, but it's all in vain. As Oz has nowhere to go but fall. And that's the 6th round. I love to point it out every time, but that is at minimum a neutral half, and we're only 7 rounds in. Kinetic look like they haven't missed a step over the last 24 hours.
It feels like we just continue straight off where we left from. Like, it just is ridiculous, this performance. Logic came in map number 3 in that series against, I believe, in that first series of the day, and has just been putting up an absolute stunner since then. So 5 ultimates online for Team Kinetic, but still Armageddon and the Nightfall and Lockdown. So big tools for this attack side to try to get something in response here. Again,
Out of charges.
commitment of utility towards this A fight, but not really much past that. Willing to maybe go for some sort of trap play with this Nightfall. The tap of the door.
Don't know how many will hit. Actually, as of right now, will hit most people, and it's right on the door. But the Boombot actually is just dodged out of the way as Goggles and Logic. The 2-person hold holds strong. You have some support, but Logic's gonna fall. It's also just pushed up a little bit too far. A little bit overzealous there. Logic having to back away so low now.
Oh, straight through
Goggles.
smoke!
Just reads the tracer bullets. Buffel still sitting on site, doing a very good job. Not dead yet, popped out. It's gonna be close affair, but Core's gonna reconfirm that kill. Makes this a 2v1, but they don't have any information as to where For Your Sake is. They're gonna have to play this carefully, both sides, but the read is there.
Wow, did they win that? How do they win that?
For Your Sake, with the insane flick on the disadvantage, does not have it. Just confirming the shots. Honestly, with a kill like that, they really should have followed. A little bit of BM, I think, is expected.
What?
My lord.
was that?
I mean, they were
Soren?
putting up some crazy performances yesterday. For your sake, yet again, proving why they are on this team. I mean, they're a substitute, but God, it doesn't feel like it.
Cora comes out with a beautiful 2K to actually get them onto the A site and make it a favorable scenario, but man, I need to see. I wish we were on their POV. I need to see that back. I do not understand the flicks that went into that. That is such an important round there. On the other side, I mean, Catnappers scrap together a buy here. It's not pretty, but they get it done. Still, those big ultimates online. I think they just want to try to maybe hit this B site and use these ults for the post plant. But the Razor Vines to delay just slightly here, just a little bit longer, and Spray is disincentivizing. This core is lit down. It just feels like the pressure is just mounting for this attack side, but Oz takes down the Star Viper, and so now that's the C site 3, Soren.
You should
Yeah,
run.
that being said, the sheer wall is going to be utilized, but the Killjoy also going to be popped. So this site will be practically theirs for free. Everyone's playing in a bit more advanced position just to see if anyone tries to overtake space. But now, Killjoy gone. The retake's going to come through, notably at a disadvantage for V5. Goggles is in the best position. Lazy Lion's the sole member of this team on site. Steel Garden's going to come out. That's going to be massive. It forces so many people back. Nightfall to counter. But Lazy Lion, tucked away in the corner, isn't seen. Trades going back and forth in favor here for the attack side. Makes it a 2v1. Logic needs to pull out a miracle. But the post plant, it's just too strong. And they don't even have to be on site to defend it. No time left to begin with. That is the second round now for the side of Catnappers.
They get themselves the second round, and honestly, they invested some big ults there, but it's needed, it's necessary. I like the play coming out from them, but I think that general strategy is just what we need to be seeing from this attack side, right? I mean, Lotus is a map where you can very heavily cycle your ults with the pretty free orbs, to be honest, and especially whenever you have so much post-plant delay with the Raise Nade, with those salvos, the Killjoy mollies as well. You can just use so much to just stall out after you get that spike down, and so we'll have to see if they can try to continue that in the next two early frags. It's just trades, it's just brawls on B.
Okay, site secured practically for free. Very difficult holds here, but that operator in the hands of Logic, that boomstick might be able to do something, but still. Lazy Lion, the easiest target to find, very low on health. If there's anyone to fall that could give them the opportunity to make this equal,
One enemy
it would be
remaining.
that. But for your sake, gets found out. This is a very tricky position. The swing out goes through.
No.
The kills for Logic.
No way, Logic.
Shots go wide through the smoke. They have the post plant, but there's a lot of time left to play for, but just not a lot of health to work with. Grenade will come out, won't find anything. Armageddon to delay yet more.
But it's a placement that allows them to get on early.
And it's just not enough. There's just so much delay with Tejo's kit, and not a lot used on the take means that they're able to play for it, and it's just clinical. I don't even know if they had the time in the end. They would have had to deal with that swing out. So very well played for Catnappers to get third on the board. Post plant really becoming the bane of this Kinetic side's day.
But I'm glad they're leaning into it, and that forces actually Team Kinetic onto their first eco round of the entire half, actually, funnily enough.
Yeah.
And Logic still, we're 10 rounds in, sat at 21-7, a 3.0 KD. It's a Guardian and Oz just jiggling out, trying to get some info, but I don't know if For Your Sake has been made note of. Meanwhile, just attempts to maybe just go back towards the B side. It's worked 2 rounds in a row, so at least put some pressure over there and make them seem like it's gonna happen. For Your Sake just gets one.
It's a 1-for-1, but that Tejo being gone is a big deal for Catnappers. Like we said, there's been so much presence here from post plant. So without that Tejo, it's a little bit on the weaker side. So they are going to get spiked down for C. Pretty much for free as the retake here. A little slow. Looks like they're probably setting up. I mean, only showstoppers to really play around. Okay, both being utilized. I don't think either have found anything. Angie on the flank finds Logic. Makes this a very tricky position to play. Fell and Goggles, though, find one apiece. They're trying to get the site, but there's just so much to overcome. Goggles jumping down. And now, I mean, it was an eco, so getting that much damage is good, but Kinetic definitely showing a little bit of weakness, something we haven't seen for quite a few games now.
Yeah, and honestly, I like to see this resurgence at the end of the half. Come into this one with, honestly, a pretty even setup here. But Goggles, with that Nightfall, it's a little bit more to back this last round of the half up with. And I want to see if there's any adaptations to this early BBM pressure that's kind of been putting Team Kinetic through the ringer after, I mean, Arthur just opens Nightfall straight out of this round. So that's the big retake tool gone. That's the first time I really think we've seen a fight be lost out.
Default, and they have the read on Logic tucked away in the corner. Makes this even more dangerous, even more in their favor, but Spike's gonna fall there. But there's no one really to stop them from just going and grabbing it. Fell probably best in their position. Hasn't really been read yet. And Prowler is going directly towards them. They know Tejo util. We'll find him on the reposition. Nightfall being invested. There's no reason not to. Very tricky spot. 2v1. Low health bars. And Lazy Lion is there to clean it up. It's a very good response and a really good second part to that first half for this Catnappers team as they close the gap. 7-5.
Great recovery there on Catnappers' own map pick. And honestly, switching over to this attack side, I think we're going to get to see a little bit of that difference finally come to fruition. I'm very interested to see with Oz sticking onto this Tejo. We got to see, I mean, in the post plant, right? Some of that utility come out and find value. But other than that, I didn't really feel like it was finding an insane amount. But on the defense, you can really set up early takes over towards A and really try to delay the plant for some of these rotates to make up for that lack of double sentinel. But here, just patience from both teams, actually. An early fight for mound control for Team Catnappers. But meanwhile, this Killjoy setup towards A, a non-traditional setup, actually going to pull many rotates here. So unbeknownst to Team Kinetic, they're going to be walking into a stack.
Yeah, they do have the numbers advantage still, though. At least now until this Clove makes their presence. Door will be popped. It looks like they're teetering, going right to the side, whether or not they want A or B. They will be spotted by that trip from the Killjoy. They're not going to take advantage of it. Playing very passive here, Kinetic.
They don't really want to give anything and just try to cause some disillusion for your sake as well. Still has this lurked up. 40 seconds on the timer, and it's going to be a B split. There's only one player here. Don't know if there's any salvos to delay for the time being. Actually, they do have two, so can get this one off. Or
30 seconds left.
potentially, you think so.
Okay. A lot of damage done to this Kinetic side, despite no kills being secured. They push up pretty aggressive into Waterfall. For your sake, finds one, but Arthur tries to find the trade. 1-for-1. Spike still yet to be planted. They need to do something. 9 seconds left on the clock. Arthur gonna try to run. Is gonna find Goggles. The plant's gonna go down. No, it's not! And they're gonna lose the round on time! Oh, tragedy here!
And two players are going to survive. Oh, Well, I say that, but not really. And so, oh, just losing the time on the pistol round has to be one of the most heartbreaking ways to lose that one out. But again, that's what I was talking about with Oz on this Tejo. You can just save those salvos to delay the plant, and especially with these new patch changes where you're not having that rechargeable utility, you don't have it as often, and so the game just slows down to a crawl. You find so much more value in those moments. So 1 for 1 on the pistol rounds, and seeing that Catnappers convert this anti-eco, it's going to be a tied game, and once was a 7-1 scoreline, Soren. Quickly diminished.
Yeah.
So a little bit.
That means Oz is able to find one. Lazy Lion has this defensive aggression, just punishing this Kinetic side, and Lazy Lion is going absolutely nuclear for this team. Cora being the final player to get the kill, but man, they are giving Logic so much praise. They were doing so well, and they still are 21-11. But Lazy Lion very consistently getting influential kills, but also a lot of them 18, 11, and 5 themselves.
Placing sentry.
Yeah, definitely started to pick it up. And so we'll have to see if they can convert this bonus. The Outlaw is still in the hands of Angie. And honestly, 3 out of 5 players here on the side of Team Kinetic are on that 125 armor, but it's all dependent on, yeah, that smoke goes up, and whenever the attack side Viper can just put up that wall, it can be hard to find value from that stairs position. Still sticking around here this one way. Actually keeping 2 players here for the time being, and even though the door is being opened towards tree, it's not really causing anyone rotating, and for your sake just doesn't check the corner. So Oz takes them down.
A is just open for them. The Prowler is going to spot them, but it's not going to do anything to deter them away from this site. Outlaw is being utilized by Arthur here. I don't think it's going to be great in this position. Razorvine is going to be used. Don't think they're going to expect the players sitting close. Logic in a very good position. Catches them with a util out. Very good read as the last 3 are setting up towards Heaven and Rubble. Allows for a possible flanking position, but Lazy Lion going crazy on site. But with the gun advantage, it's just a little bit too much to overcome as the rest are cleaned up. And the hemorrhaging themselves has now stopped for the side of Kinetic. That was, 6 rounds in a row since the last half for Catnappers, as they just completely closed the gap between them.
Yeah, not allowing the lead to be taken, at least not for the time being, but this round is really going to be for all the marbles here. So we're going to start to see maybe a switch up. Yeah, so the defensive switch up from Angie back towards C, and it's going to be a fight early on. The salvos doing a lot here, not only delaying alongside the nade and the C's, but it also opens that door up to allow for quick rotations for this defense. Logic throwing that nade out, but really just all for naught. There's nothing to follow up. The Prowler to re-clear that space, and so 20 seconds into the round, and attackers really have not been able to gain much here.
Like C is gonna be the destination. Spike is leaning there, but hasn't quite committed, hasn't made its way to Mound. The read from the defense is that it's gonna be C, but now that the full rotation is coming out, there's no one there. They're pulling back. It's gonna be A, it looks like. Lazy Lion's gonna be the sole defender waiting for them. Is gonna spot them before the smoke goes up. That's gonna be huge. Goggles to fall. That's a big piece of initiating power. Now gone. The rotate over is very quick, but now the push out has stalled. Kinetic and struggling now.
This follow-up as well, it's so slow. They're worried about potential layers to this defense side, so there's only 30 seconds left. This feels so reminiscent of the pistol rounds. One more kill. And Lazy Lion has that showstopper, gets that nade back online, and still a salvo in the back pocket. Look at how fast these players are here flooding on his site.
Okay, kills go the way of Kinetic, time is ticking though, as 2 kills,
Last
make it
player
3.
standing.
For your sake though, has to get the spike down.
Spike
Will
planted.
do so in this 1v2. Angie has to find them both. Pack tactics is the choice for this Kinetic side. Trees cleared, nothing there.
No way they expect it.
Oh no. For your sake, last player left standing. Do they have the read? Yes, they do. The wraparound's enough. They weren't expecting them to go up in heaven. And they draw. It's a close one, but that is a big win for them. That also puts this Catnappers team on an eco, the first one they've had in a while. Oh, it's getting close in this match. Game 1 is definitely a lot closer than pretty much every game we had yesterday.
It's already, I feel like some of these rounds are just so close. The calling between the IGLs, definitely you can see what's going on as far as the defensive rotations go and how Catnappers are wanting to play, but trying to delay and flood back into sight. And it's gotten real dangerous a few of these rounds with how low time has gotten, but they're just able to close it out. And so with that, it's another eco round for the side of Catnappers. Lazy Lion with a Bucky and a Showstopper. So still not fully out of it here, but there's no util to assist Angie on this C site. Just a Sheriff in hand. It's going to have to be a lot of work done with that aim.
Sitting waterfall. Will they be red? The drone is going to be dealt with, but that's going to give a lot of information. At least 2 going to be in waterfall. Sight is going to be given up. We've been seeing this team lean towards a more retake style, but they're a lot more comfortable. Previously, Kinetic were waiting, trying to take aggressive angles, have these retakes be in their advantage in mound power, but Catnappers far more willing to just play off, give the site up, and take the 5v5. Might be for their punishment, though. For your sake, finds the opener. Austin Phil finds trades, but still right now, Catnappers down a person. Phil utilizing the ultimate to stay ahead as the kills go back and forth. But in the end, Kinetic seem to be having the upper hand. And in the chaos, Kinetic come out on top. Logic very low there, but playing much more passively. He's able to survive. 3 ultimates now in their pockets as well as they hit that double-digit mark, first to reach 10.
So close here to finishing this one out and closing out map number 1. And it wasn't eco though, so not a lot put into that one. But again, it's this early control over towards A that I think just is going to be the signature for these defense-sided teams. But while on, at least in the first part of the attack side, they really weren't able to get anything going over towards C, but the Showstoppers committed from Logic early on here, and the site just has to be given up. The mollies are popped, but again, they can get this spike down. I say that actually. Viper's Pit's nowhere nearby, and Angie is not aware. Logic pushed through, taken down.
Playing on the off angle. The high-low on site. And Spooky finds one. Fell finds the other. Core is going to pop, but not yet. Is going to be felled, though, very soon after. They do find Fell, which keeps them alive for only a moment longer. It's the attackers. Kinetic getting a little bit of their mojo back, getting a little bit of momentum here as they're looking to close out this game 1. And it's going to be a very scattered buy coming out from Catnappers as they're struggling, trying to stop this hemorrhaging, trying to get themselves back into this game.
I feel bad, honestly, for Angie there. I mean, 1 player to hold down all of that C and B area, essentially. And it's just too much to deal with. The game plan falls through. And so they don't want to try to play for overtime. Catnappers forced into this round. You have 2 Guardians, a Judge, and 2 regular rifles. It's all half armor. They need to get this, or feels like it might just be all too little. Again, early fight over towards A, going the way of Catnappers, but we've seen that doesn't really, it's not a signaler for success here in the second half of the Lotus.
Prowler was utilized. Doesn't find anything, but they're still being very patient. Obviously, wasn't able to check door, which we know that Clove is playing there. Fell. It's going to try to get
The
it,
timing,
but
the
catches
timing.
us. So unfortunate. Now the push is going to come through, but the double satchel. It's like shooting clay pigeons. Logic knocked out of the air, gets them the killjoy, and will get that down. Fell's going to get
My ult is
it
ready.
planted, but do they have the time to get out? They'll at least get time to get the safety.
I think so.
But that's not planted for them
It's
at
not
all. In
great.
fact,
Oh my.
but for your sake, it's not going to win that. They're not going to be able to win out this round. Nightfall utilized. But at what cost? Cora finds 3. But it doesn't matter, because even if they got all those kills, they did not have a position for that plant.
Yeah, and it just feels like a little bit of an oversight there, Soren, knowing that that ultimate was in play and still planting there. Just unfortunate. Fortunate indeed, but that's a lifeline for Catnappers here. They get that round and they're able to put together another buy. Oz with that judge once again, and the Lazy Lion still on a tear. Not been able to catch up to Logic at 28 frags, but still 22 after being, I believe, 0-4 in those first initial rounds. Has stepped it up, really put on a good performance, but with the wall dropping. Again, 2-for-1 trade on the side of Catnappers. They can keep this up, Soren. This might just be the map we've been waiting for.
AC looks like is where they want to hit. They do have Spike. It is a one-person hold, just a killjoy set up. With only 3 members, I don't think they noticed all of them, but now with that Spike being planted, they're gonna try to play this aggressive. Arthur, the shots go wide! They don't find the kills, but Goggles holding down the line, but Oz with the shotty. And now a 1v2 situation. We've seen this before. Armageddon being utilized, forcing them out of position. Utopian's
Beaton's
out.
out.
Spooky, winnable position, and they find Goat!
This world will know my name.
Clutch! Right when their team needed it most, they get themselves to map points, and the buy is not pretty for Catnappers. They're gonna have 2 on a full buy, and there's gonna be 2 with pistols. This is tragedy. That was so winnable for them, but the shots go wide.
It's so unfortunate. 2 rounds in a row, Oz is caught out with their util in hands and gets punished for it. No one to clutch up at the end of the day here. They scrap together, they put together what they can. On the other side, they're facing down 3 ultimates and full rifles, and for your sake, not letting up here.
Aura does pop the ultimate, but immediately dies again. For your sake and Spooky are just gunning them down. That's 2 kills onto Cora. Viper's Pit is going down for this plant. They have the numbers to just hold every angle, so it's planted for long. They got the raise in the back. It's going to be unnecessary. As For Your Sake finds 3. They're going hunting. Goggles finds 4 now. It's Oz versus the world. Nightfall finds nothing. They know where they need to look. For Your Sake is running out with the shotty. Will be found. Viper Spit's gonna fall. He's gonna give away location. Oz now stuck. Nowhere to go. Fell is waiting with open arms. Game number 1, set match secured by Kinetic. It was not nearly as dominant as their games from yesterday, but man, it was still a good performance. Catnappers, though, did make them bleed. The gods can bleed here, Zero.
A little bit, it seems that way. And I mean, after falling 13-5 in their previous matchup, taking this victory 13-8, and honestly, it was a nice comeback towards the latter part of the first half. But after that, it just kind of felt like it was still Kinetic in the driver's seat. They lose 8 rounds, which is the most I think we've seen them lose after when they win a map. But a great performance from them. I mean, Logic came out in round number 10, had 21 frags to really just set their team on the right foot. But For Your Sake as well. I I know we can't go back, but I'm still googling over that that 1v2 flick on that A site
Yeah.
retake. But a great performance from Catnappers as well to try to get that one. But that's a good first map for Kinetic. I was saying, Soren, if they want to take this series, I think they're gonna want to try to take these first two maps to give themselves a little bit of breathing room as we get towards the end of the map pool here.
Yeah, absolutely. And I discussed it a little bit yesterday, but I think the biggest thing about Kinetic and this team is that every single member is a threat. Every single one of these members have had a big play. Because obviously, like we saw a lot of Logic, who we can see here is top of the board, and also just barely skates by Lazy Lion in the ACS. So MVP for the game, 345 ACS is crazy, by the way. Lazy Lion also getting 333 is insane. And also very nice, especially with the 3 first kills. Very symmetrical. But the fact that every single member performed well, and even when it came down to it, you have like the bottom frag who's spooky, just doing a bit more of a role player job, also getting that
Kinetic, if they can get a round or two rolling, they definitely can just start to run away with this. And the Catnappers, they need to make a stand here, or I feel like the series might just be done after this one. It might be hard to recover.
Yeah. And obviously, momentum is always a big factor to deal with. So
Yeah.
this is a wonderful position for them to turn it around. If they're going to do it, here is the time. Especially because we did see them put up some really good performances on that last map. They just weren't able to get themselves over the line. I am intrigued to see how it will go. Obviously, they struggle a little bit on the defensive side. This map plays pretty similar defensively as Lotus, so I do worry about that. But again, we are going to be similar starting points in the next 2 games, as Kinetic are going to be on defense for the first 3 maps. So obviously, Lotus has already been played out, but Kinetic defense to start on Haven as well as Bind. So it's going to be close, but I mean, agent-wise, what are we expecting to see? Because I think we're going to be going into agent select here relatively soon.
I wouldn't expect too much change from Team Kinetic and Catnappers. I think they like to stick pretty basic. I mean, we'll get into this, and yeah, actually, it's just I mean, this super old Haven comp that, to be honest, is a little outdated at this point, especially with those breach nerfs. But it is what it is. I'm more interested, honestly, in the role changes that we got going on here. It's Lazy Lion swapping over to the Sova, and it's Arthur, who I think is one of the best scan players and info players in the Tenax series, actually swapping over to that breach Cora on the Jet. And so a little bit of a switch up here, but maybe wanting to allow Cora to have a bit more of that freedom. We definitely saw them have a lot of success on the Clove last map, but for Team Kinetic, same old, same old. Really leaning into this double duelist to try to enable these players like Logic, like For Your Sake, as we know once they get going, my God, can they carry a game?
Yeah, absolutely. But first round is going to be getting underway here, as it looks like it's going to be a very aggressive push into Garage. The flash comes out and it blinds up, but they don't find the one in the corner. Spooky somehow finds 2 in that mix. Shots go wide, but Core finally able to get the trades. Fell though with the classic. Kills going back and forth. But in the end, the attack side is the one on the downswing. Kinetic yet again have the advantage after a lot of aggression. Angie, though, has the read. Expects them both here in CT. Spike has not gone down. Takes the fight with Bell. Finds that kill, but Goggles is able to pick it up. Oh my. What a crazy
beautiful
first round to start.
It is, but again, back down to those fundamentals, winning out these crucial rounds for Team Kinetic. These 2v1s, I feel like you do not see them lose those. Another pistol round converted here. This time, we did see 3 sheriffs be bought up. Round number 2 of Lotus, but here it's just Cora with the Stinger and Angie actually with that sheriff. And again, very fast pressure over towards Garage, a dash, a flash, but it's gonna be 3 players here and an Outlaw sitting on the other side of this smoke.
See a hold, not a lot of retake. They are just trying to hold the line, especially with that good advantage. And Spooky on the Cypher is just gonna find almost everyone. Angie is gonna be noted there officially, so they know who the last player is. Spooky's gonna take it. Momentum, they're gonna have it. Spooky with the 4K on the round. And I mean, it's what it was expected, but that's a very, very good round. BC with a little bit of saving. For Your Sake is going to pick up that hero Vandal. Can they do it again? Can they continue to be the monsters of the bonus round?
This goes here.
I have to believe. Like, I think I just have to believe at this point. It's so hard not to after this insane amount of success. And so here, Spooky will actually get a lot of information with this setup, a deep camera, as well as the attackers want to try to pressure over towards A, and Logic instantly opens up the round as one of those full armor players of Lazy Lion. As your info down, wants to go for more.
And gets another. Okay, Arthur falls, and this makes this entire push a lot trickier. Goggles is going to push up. I'm assuming they want to fight for this Vandal, and they're going to get it for practically free. Fell sitting in this smoke.
Oh my gosh.
Is gonna try to bait it out, but Us not giving over an inch. They've taken a lot of space on long, but that's it. There's one player playing up in garage, but there's two waiting for them. They're gonna be found.
Oh, but
Meanwhile,
the Lark's
Us tries
taken
to push
down.
up.
It's a 5v2,
it's just
Soren.
these two. It's almost gonna be flawless. As the smoke falls,
Spike
they find
down
another one.
A.
Core, the fall fell. The one on site only has a Spectre down in gun advantage, but they see that the spike is down. Us has to play this super carefully. They have to expect them to be hell. They're set up so well. The shots go wide. Logic doesn't find it, but Goggles does. It's not quite flawless, but yet another bonus round goes to Kinetic in a pretty confident way. They're going to be able to buy out here. We do see Logic pick up that Outlaw, which makes me think that they're looking for the op. They're just keeping this Outlaw here because they know they're going to be going up against Light Shields.
There.
Yeah, except for Lazy Lion, apparently, who's traumatized. So still sticking to that full armor, but yeah, the amount of bonuses they are being able to convert is just crazy work, and it's so hard. I know we've been talking about how dominant these series have been, and it looks like Team Kinetic is just in control all the time, but whenever you have such a high pistol and bonus round conversion rate, it's easy to make it seem that way, and so TP into sight with Oz, but that's the spike, and no one else to follow up, so the spike is down.
What? What? And then the one on the flank, for your sake, is doing it. Finds two. Spooky's actually the one that confirmed that second kill. Shot to the wall. Lazy Lion with just the sheriff, but the shots go wide. Logic gets another kill. Angie does find one over on C, but they don't have Spike. They know where the Cypher is. And now they're just choking out all the space. Spooky with yet another triple to win out the round. The only one to fall is Logic, who had that Outlaw. So everyone else is fine. We see the
We
operator
were
come
really
back
upset
out.
about that, yeah. Really upset that they had
Yeah,
to go over to
really.
the operator this round.
But
And
the lowest creds left are 3,700 for Spooky. Oh my, that's a lot of economy damage that they've been able to do.
it's honestly insane. And they can get this operator out, post over towards long. We're seeing the amount of work they were able to do with it yesterday on Haven here, and instantly opens up onto Korra.
What?
Another opener.
What?
It's just drive fights across the board, Soren. I'm thinking maybe it's going to be a slower start, maybe get something going, but on two opposite sides of the map, your two most important characters go down, and it just feels like it's
Spike
falling
down
apart
A.
here in round number 5.
Okay, Arthur finds one, Goggles, to fall through a wall, bang. Okay, Lazy Lion is able to do a little bit. It's 2v1 here, very low health on this breach, but two initiators, if there's any two combo to be able to take this site successfully, it's going to be them. Logic's actually going to take a little bit of the
Spike
damage
planted.
there from that concussive blast, but Logic with a really good angle. No, they get caught looking the other way.
Lazy Lion, though.
What is happening? 1v1. Knives popped. Logic, Bladestorm has the health advantage, but Lazy Lion is very weak. Have to be super careful. Logic is going to give away their location, but the peak is going to go through. Shot dart goes wide. But the shot from Lazy Lion from a 2v4 situation. They find all four, and they are able to win out the round. Catnappers showing signs of life here after a very, they're going to take a timeout, which they still need because it's a bit of a miracle they won that round in the first place. Oh my.
It feels so similar. I mean, what an insane clutch. I mean, in map number 1 on Lotus, round number 5, you had Korra coming out with an ace to clutch them around. Here, it's Lazy Lion with the 4K. And like you said, the timeout is called by Oz. It honestly might have been called before the clutch comes out, but I think they still need it. Like you said, it was kind of miracles to scrap together that victory after it started off. Both Oz and Korra went down in the first 5 seconds to dry fights. So there's not really a game plan going on here in the early round. So they need to fix this, adjust their strategy, because this is the attack side where you want to try to get a large amount of rounds going, and we saw how devastating that can be back on Lotus. So Maybe an adjustment to try to overwhelm this operator. I'm not too sure what we'll be seeing out of this timeout.
Yeah, I think the operator is the biggest threat on the board. Logic, we know, can just use it super well. And this, I mean, I think the big difference between this map and Lotus is the fact that there's a lot of very long sight lines on this map. There's a lot more closer or like 90-degree turns on Lotus, which aren't as well, made for the operator. That being said, we see a little bit of an alteration here.
And I like this adjustment, right? Smoke towards short, play very slow, very passive to clear out long, and it works well. It shuts down Logic's sightline, and actually, as well, on top of that, Fell thought it was going to be so much faster, so they committed both smokes there early on, fading away, so still waiting for those to recharge. Camera gets spotted out. It's almost a...
Okay.
Just a draw at the lines as a minute hits the clock. Goggles is going to go walkabouts.
Empress was used as well for your sake. Hasn't really found anything quite yet. Did push up very aggressively into mid, but got immediately found. Logic is able to find the player down C long, which stalls this out. It looks like it was going to be a split through C long and garage, but only one going long means that that entire push is now disabled. They're going to make their way over to A. There's no one sitting there, but because it's a I guess it's technically fast, but since it's all in one big grouping, it's going to allow time for this hold. Okay. Push out comes through. Spike is going to be planted. They are spotted, though. Not going to be able to deny it. Cora, sitting in hell, has a pretty good angle. Is going to get hit with the Clove Decay. And now they're going to have to run for their lives. They want to keep that operator. And they're going to just take away with their life and the op, give up that spike and the round. 5-1 here. They're going to go hunting for it. They're going to get one, but at this point, I think it's consolation kills and extra money in the pocket. That's all it's going to be worth. The economy for this side of Kinetic is just so well made.
Able to get the Rolling Thunder online, but it's just so rough. You know you have this utility to try to clear this operator off of some of these deeper lines. But like you're saying, I mean, after this patch changes, these weapons like the Judge, the Odin, the operator, the snipers just in general, they're so much more deadly because you don't have the same amount of tools to actually clear them off in the round. So maybe a little bit of weariness from Lazy Lion to commit that drone there or to use that early on, and maybe willingness to just take those dry fights, but it's not working out. So this early push, this deep push might be what's needed, but it doesn't matter. They get the kill anyways, but still.
Okay, the spray's a little wild, but they find two. Fourier's pushed all the way up the window. Finds the one because they don't expect someone to be sitting just on the other side of the tripwire. Court does find one in response, finding Fourier's sake as they try to get away. Garage seems to be the final destination. They find the player in window. Spooky, though. Top of the leaderboard for them. It's going to try to hold the site down. Don't know if they're just going to go for C or not. They take the fight. Goggles finds Cora, and now Arthur.
Gun here.
The one with the spike. Going to be able to trade out the rifle. Be able to pick up a Phantom. That looks like they're going to go A. And very well, this defense is going to stay pack mentality. Stay together.
Yeah, stick to what has been working for them. They'll be able to plant this spike. It's not the best plant in the world, but they have plenty of time to play with. The rotates still have to come over. A fault line, flashpoint, and that Rolling Thunder still to play with here.
Yeah. Drone is being used just to make sure the way forward is safe. That means it's not going to be available. Rolling Thunder being in play is massive. Okay. Fault line. Doesn't find anything. Rolling Thunder coming out. Both get to a pretty safe position. And even though they're concussed, Goggles finds the kill and they get the tie. It's going to be very close, but they have the time.
I don't think they have it.
No, it's going to be close. They have it. No, they don't. What?
There's no way. The perfect amount of delay. That's just like... I don't even know. Oh, that's heartbreaking. But for Arthur, what a beautiful clutch in the last moment to get themselves another round here on their attack side. Not really denting the economy, but
Oh,
No
I'm
that is-
speechless. I really thought they
Yeah.
had it. I know the second circle was like the indicator, and I saw they had got on it right as it started up. I really thought it. Logic, they just pushed through the garage, and Logic just puts them down. Okay. Interesting as they continue to push through this garage area. Logic in an awkward position, has to get away to safety, only has the operator to use Spooky, the rifleman, on site. They're gonna find Logic, but Fell there to back him up. No one's dealt with these tripwires yet. Clove gonna pop the ultimate. It's gonna be close, but they're being surrounded, and now it's a 1v2. They have no read. For your sake, no point. They are to go
is
for the
being played
plant on
backside.
A.
Spike planted.
They're not ready for it.
Oh, the
They're
line
lined
up.
The shot's go wide. They get away.
Sight.
30 health. No overheal to play for. Is this just a save? It looks like it's
a
gonna be a
reposition
save.
towards garage.
But they're gonna be
try to
so
make something
low on
happen.
time.
They'll still have some to
Be
play
so
with,
low.
but where do they go? Do they go up window? No, just through door.
Okay. Okay, give away the location. It's gonna be close. Austin knows that they have the health and they have the time. They just need to play carefully. 9 seconds. They need to get on this. It's just gonna be a loss. There's not enough aggression. And it's gonna cost them. The TP out means that they're safe. 3 rounds on the board now.
It feels so similar to what we saw back on Lotus. Just able to string together a few rounds here, and I like the general idea to anchor onto C, but those smokes went down, and it just felt like the fights were individual. No player were really backing each other up with the crossfires, and so the attack side get it done. So once again, it'll be another attempt towards the C site. This time, Hunter's Fury on toe, and Logic still able to scrap together enough credits for that operator, but dark cover will, for the time being at least, push off that op from the line, and it's gonna have to be a 5v5 retake here. It's gonna be difficult for Soren.
Okay. Hunter's Fury is going to be used to delay the plants, but not going to do anything really except for a little bit of chunk damage onto the jet. Oh no. And G has it! Oh, they find 2! The Hunter's Fury is also going to find Logic. Logic will find 1 kill, but in the background, Spooky though finds 2. Makes this a 1v2. Makes this very winnable, but now with no information, they just have to play this raw. It's going to be very close here. Information is given, but they know exactly where Spooky's playing. There's nowhere to run. And just like last game, after a really convincing first half of the first half, I mean, it's starting to look more and more like Catnappers have the number here.
And I don't know if it was made note of or if you noticed it, but a beautiful little play from Oz and Angie. There was a paranoia to push those players towards CT back, and they ran into C-Link, and Angie just able to pick up 2 and cause chaos in that moment and really allow for that 4th round to get on the board. And so it's an eco for the defenders. And as we've seen them time and time again go back to, it's a mid push. Not going to find success for the time being. Goggles with a Bucky in this smoke.
Okay.
Very tempted, I think, to try to make a play through that,
Pick
but
up. Yeah. They don't pick up that orb. It was just mean for tease. Arthur, I don't think. Yeah. Gives the room for Korra to not be noticed, but now there's still a lot of players sitting there. At least Line takes a little bit of chunk damage. For your sake, has to hold this down. Empress, not enough. Fell finds 1, but the push through on the site. And just like that, it's a 1v4. Spooky in a very bad spot.
I think has disconnected
Spooky
actually.
maybe.
Yeah, so
Yeah, Spooky disconnected,
Back.
reconnects.
1v4.
Imagine coming back to this. It's definitely not a good look, I won't lie.
Guys, what happens? I swear everyone was alive.
I swear. Yeah, I was also. I don't think it was a. They have a couple. Yeah, I think they should be able to mostly buy out. They'll be able to get full rifles at least, but the shielding situation looks rough.
Yeah, but they still can get something together here. But Arthur did get that Rolling Thunder online. So I feel like ever since that timeout, sure, they didn't get the instant response, but it's definitely been a completely different team. And I think just not dry swinging, playing together has been the main thing. Because just slowing down this game, not wanting to like take those individual moments as can so easily happen in some of these more rosters who are just not pugging it out completely, but don't have as much scrim experience together. So can find that timing to take a second, breathe, play together. But here, look at the defensive map. There's 4 players over towards the A site. You have just Cypher information. And so they're just wanting to flood back on. I like this adjustment. But how ready is the side of Catnappers? They have this Rolling Thunder to commit on the site.
I like this a lot, the setup. I mean, sure, it's a flood onto A, which is going to be very quick here. Rolling Thunder immediately found, but doesn't really find anything. But they're able to just sit there like a wall. 3 by 3, 4. It's a team ace. It's gorgeous. I really like that setup because even though they were all sitting on A waiting, they would have the advantage if they pushed A like that. So they had that correct read, but they had someone sitting in CT by A watching B doors. They had a tripwire in garage and a very, very far forward camera on C. So if they pushed up anywhere else, they would be able to respond very quickly, but they gamble stack B or gamble stack A, excuse me, and were able to get the value out of it. That was a very good defensive setup. It's a shame that they're pulling it out at the very end. They get one last round to win, but they will at least end neutral.
Yeah. Oh my. Well, and that's the smokes instantly taken out. That was an operator as well in Oz's hands. So I was about to say it's gonna have to be an absolute brawl for this next one, and it is towards mid. For your sake, taking names here.
Arthur's working with scraps of health. Very dangerous. They're going to be the canary in the coal mine. They're going to push up through window. They will find 1. It's going to be massive value. In the process, Core's got to find 2. And suddenly, the round has been flipped on its head. Despite losing too early, it's now a 2v3.
How does this happen? You have Arthur going to be flanking around. You have full util still in the hands of Goggles. So maybe get this information, but for your sake, already got 2 big kills and needs to go even bigger for their team. But Arthur, with this wraparound as well, going to be the final nail in the coffin.
Oh, I still have the read on Cora. Okay, takes us a 2v2.
Last player
The Smith is able to go through. Lazy Lie in, finds 1. 4. They don't have the read. For your sake, it's found though. And we see a really even half, 6-6.
Switching sides.
The first time we've seen a half where it's not an outright win for Kinetic.
All playoffs long, it seems like Kinetic has just stormed away with the first half of every series, every map. But here, Catnappers are certainly not ones to speak lightly of, and especially there, Arthur only on 1 HP, just so willing to go for plays like that in those tough situations, and comes out on top because of it. It's their team that round win, and so 6-6 into the half. They'll swap to this defense side, and I'm really interested to see what kind of approach that Team Kinetic comes in with, because they haven't really played against this kind of standard Breach Sova composition that tries to super heavily fight for this A lobby control, right? It was that double duelist twice before, a double sentinel, I think, once. So get to maybe to respect some of that utility early, but for your sake, we know not like to respect a lot of things, especially with this sheriff in hands.
Yeah, we see yet again. Their offensive side start very, very slow here. They're going to get rid of that tripwire in garage, but immediately pull away. So we look over on A lot of defensive presence, but there's really no one from the attack. Cypher is sitting in sewers, but that's really it. Mostly to stop a lurk. So it looks like C, garage and long split is going to be the final destination here. They're wary. They've pinged out close right. They're worried about it, but they won't find anything. As Lazy Lion finds that lurker. Okay. Dart's going to be used. Concussive blast.
Angie!
Denying the plant. Arthur. Angie falls on site. Arthur has to back away. They're going to reposition
Spike
towards
planted.
garage. Spike's going to go down. It is planted for long. No move back yet. This is not a setup for post plant. They read that is played for there. All right, kills go back and forth. Core and Oz find one. Oz finds two. Logic doesn't need to do, but it's close. Came down to 1v1 classics. And Arthur, the same player that had to pull off a site because there is too much pressure, comes back in to secure the win.
And that might even be
Right there.
more important of a round than their last clutch here. It's the pistol secured again. Such a similar story to Lotus. Will give themselves the lead for the first time in the entire series here, Soren. And what a clutch player to have on your team when it counts the most.
I think this is the first time we've seen Kinetic in a losing position since map 1 of the first round of quarters. I think this is the first time. Okay,
Spike down mid.
pushing aggressively. Logic is gonna have to take a little bit of help there with that tripwire. The core just holding down B, finds 2. Spikes will go down. At this point, anything you can get is good. They do have stingers here. They're not really finding value. And despite a pretty heavy buyout, they don't get anything for it. It's flawless. They might get a taste of their own medicine. They won't have a lot to buy for this bonus. They will have like nothing to buy with this bonus.
Yeah, and the Outlaw as well coming in, and the Judge. These weapons are so good at just destroying this. I mean, it's going to be another, not a full force down, but they'll have sheriffs into this, and we know there's going to be a lot of danger, but a flawless is not what I would be expecting there. So great work from Catnappers to turn the narrative on its head, flip it upside down. They need to take this momentum and really get a shut Team Kinetic out of this game. Another early peek, this time For Your Sake goes down from Korra. Reload, I think, might go for another one, yeah.
God, Korra just going
Absolutely
absolutely ham. Won't find that one. Has to try to get away. Won't be able to. Logic's to be able to find them with Sheriff. But Lazy Lion is there to clean up the mess. 9-6 now in favor of Catnappers as they are running rampant here. Korra really starting to hit stride as we see a timeout, the first timeout we've seen from this Kinetic side. I mean, it's very well deserved. I mean, what is this? They won 6 there, so 9 rounds. And the last 9 rounds, they've only won. Sorry, last 11, they've only won 2.
And
that's terrible.
This feels very similar
really
to
not
how,
good.
but it feels similar to how it kind of went for the first time they played Haven, right? They got an early lead, and sure, it was side swapped, but they lost the pistol round after that. They lost the bonus, and then they just couldn't really scrap anything back together. So Dr. Doom calling a timeout here to really just try to maybe settle the nerves, because I mean, already Lazy Lion, you can see, has that Hunter's Fury, so big ults. And I think on this attack side, what was working so well for them was just kind of grouping up and going for some of these more set hits. I think it's harder though whenever you have someone like Arthur who can send in that fault line and really deny space for a little bit, rather than something like that ISO Yoru that they were playing against Skyline Otters yesterday. So a little bit different of a compositional matchup, making this one pretty hard to deal with here.
I'll find them.
And so outside of this timeout, they decide to scrap the ideas of going early A. Korra once again posted towards short very early on, but this time there's no one really to back up behind it. And this is what I'm talking about, this early garage pressure. This is what I like to see. Maybe going for something of a C-split, start to put the pressure on from multiple lanes here.
lot of information being denied here by this defensive side. We see a little bit of a push up towards A short. Is going to be spotted by that camera. So trade of information as they're aware of the cipher on the flank, but it looks like C is where they want to go, and they're actually calling it if you see the pings there, but you can't just not find the kills over in garage. Angie's gonna have to give away their location with that shot, but I don't know if they're gonna really take it. Will be a 1-for-1. The gun advantage just a little bit too much to overcome though. And now it's a 4v3. They're gonna have to try to flood through here, but I mean, the only player gone is the Reyna. They still have the Jet in play and all their utility. One playing super close here. Bladestorm is popped, trying to find something, but the shots go wide. Oz finds one, but can't find another. Logic with 3 on the round as we see a little bit of the blood hemorrhaging stop. So they're able to finally put an end. That was 4 rounds in a row. Since the last interruption, which was 4 rounds before that. We need to see them get a second round in a row here.
Yeah, but I love the use of the timeout there. It just kind of stopped that momentum, and I liked the setup, the idea, right? We hadn't really seen the defaulting come out, and it kind of felt like those rounds had been done before they even started, but it was the strategy to try to just break this cipher util early. Default towards garage, you can break the camera, break that tripwire with the shock dart that Goggles just sent out, but actually Angie was on top of it, recalled it, and then set it back down. But Spooky once again takes down Arthur early. So there's no defensive utility to kind of set up to delay, and this is just all going on in garage, Soren. Feels like it's falling apart over towards C.
Oh, a little bit of aggression there from Oz is going to be matched. It's going to be red as well, but still, 2 first bloods makes this very difficult. But that kill makes it even 3-3. Last 2 sitting on site. Fell's going to take that shock damage. Fell is going to fall, but immediately Papillon Goggles finds one.
One enemy
Right in the
remaining.
chaos. It's a 1v1. Fell finds the kill. They have to have the read. No. Switch to the classic. Oz, very low. Has to use the classic. Doesn't have the gun.
Oh my god, no way!
What is happening? It's chaos.
Does Oz even have bullets?
Taps.
Sure.
Throws down fake.
Oh my
and
god!
in the smoke. Fell finds it with the right click. It couldn't get more chaotic, but they drag themselves over the line. Got a second round in a row. Oh my, it's not a perfect situation, but it's the best they're gonna get here as they bring it back 8-9.
Is that? I mean, just absolute madness in the 1v1 there between the controller players. Multiple times just running out of bullets. And oh, the classic reload. Just coming out and the right click to take it out at the end of the day. So 2 in a row. Some big ults used there. So Bladestorm pops for Logic, and again an early assault towards that C area. The paranoia pushes them back for the time being. Arthur taken down twice early here, and a 3rd round in a row they go down first. So that's the B site open for the taking, and Spike's gonna get planted. Soren, there needs to be some sort of adjustment here.
They are gonna push out. Cora, Lazy Lion and Cora are just gonna find practically everyone. The aggression. Spooky though. He's just gonna play this, jumps out. Has to play this super carefully. Is gonna be spotted, but doesn't get behind cover. And that's round number 10. First the double digits here for Catnappers.
Yeah, they get double digits. They get 10 rounds. Honestly, it was off the back of Lazy Lion and Cora just farming up over towards C-Link. And I don't hate the idea there, definitely, from Team Kinetic to try to go aggressive and plant for that side, but it maybe felt like with the Silva ult still in the back pocket for Goggles that maybe they just should have been happy with getting that site for free, playing the numbers advantage, and going off that. But 10th round gain, and so this forced them to buy all the way down to pretty much fair amount of credits. Judge in hand for Oz, and this is something we haven't seen, and there is no one ready for it at all.
Okay. Only finds one as Fell's able to find them, but notably that is smokes down. That's a very, very influential agent to have sitting on that close corner. So no smokes. only lost the Reyna in response, so I think that would be a happy trade for this attacking side. Neural Theft is going to be pops. That's going to give away the location of all of the attackers, which means they are going to play super aggressively. Angie being spotted by that dart has to back away. He's going to fall in the process, and they're just going to shoot them all. And now Lazy Lion, last player standing, is going to have to do it all. Logic isn't going to be seen there, but it doesn't matter. He fell from sight. He's going to be able to pick up that final kill. Very good response. Doesn't get him even quite yet, but now we're seeing rounds get traded. So we do see a tech pause having to be called by this defensive side.
That was a great response. Honestly, I think trading these rounds here back and forth. Yeah, just a little bit of a DC, I think, once again. So apologies on that front, but should be able to get back in and reconnect pretty quickly here. Doesn't take too much, but this has been such a close game, Soren. Honestly, this is what I love to see here in the Tenax Series Grand Finals. No one-sided maps, no one-sided games, just a very even bout. And honestly, I think coming in here, we get to see a little bit of a different style setup. Both of these maps, right? We got to see double duelist versus double initiator here. On Lotus, it was double initiator versus double controller. So really kind of stylistically showing off how these two teams match up. And For Your Sake has been a player that really enables this double duelist, I would say, for this Team Kinetic squad, and has not really found their footing here on the second half of Haven. Has been stuck at 14 kills for quite a long time now, and so whenever we've come to see them have success time and time again and not really have these like low streaks, I mean, I think they're the #1 rated player in playoffs currently, so definitely not the best performance, but should expect to see them pick it up maybe a little bit further. But already, look at outside of this tech pause, look at how fast Cora is to wrap around. The tripwire is put on the flank, but doesn't stop the Jet from pushing, and that's just going to allow all the rotates to be here so quick.
Yeah, and Core's actually going to give up on that flank, so they're not going to have to worry about anyone from behind. There's going to be a full frontal assault here, as space is being taken by For Your Sake, and Fell. For Your Sake finds one before being traded. Fell finds the follow-up. Lazy Lion's going to try to shoot through the floor. Can't quite do so, as the last two defenders have to back away. Fell planting very deep into sight. It looks like it's going to be a post-plant setup, but no one's pulling off sight. It's planted for long, but it's not going to be utilized in that way. Last two sitting towards CT, they have to make the decision. They really don't have anything to save, so they're going to have to play for it. Spooky's ready, not looking. But if they clear this right side, Fell's going to find them. And that's the trade that they're willing to take. They take the fight. Arthur gets hit there, takes a little bit of damage, takes some even more on the way out. And now 15 health versus the world. They're going to be in heaven. They have to place carefully. The shot's through the wall. The read is there, but it doesn't quite hit.
Surely, gonna die to fall damage? Maybe, are you gonna... I don't understand this. I don't get that one, honestly. I thought that they were just trying to play for exits. If anyone was to go in there, Lazy Lion already had their ult. Arthur, as we can see, is only one away from theirs. And so, even if they go down there, to someone else, no one's getting their ultimate online. Logic 6 away currently, so that's an ultimate they won't have into this round. They have to either get a frag or pick up an ult orb. So honestly, it seems like a small little decision, but I feel like that's a huge opportunity missed for this defensive side to try to take back the lead here. Just a tied game at 10-10.
Yeah, especially because even if they die there, they don't get anything for it. I mean, extra 200 credits is not going to be a big difference when everyone else in the company is so good. We do see Core, the aggression in the sewers get punished. Yet again, a name for Your Sake. Top in the Empress is going to find one, do a little bit of damage. Has to play very carefully though, only 30 health remaining, as it looks like A is still the destination. Trade it out yet again. Befell is gonna pop the res. The Empress, too many bullets to dodge, and the rest of the attack comes through. 11-10. the lead has vanished, and since that timeout, we've seen a very different Kinetic team. Very good use. I believe there's still one more timeout for the side of Catnappers. I would almost hope to see it come out here, but they're not.
I would too, because it's going to be a force down to try to, again, not really play into overtime. They have a lot of these big ults, so maybe try to use these here, but if you look at the other side, look at the credits. So they have to get this round, and it has to be so clean. Double cage setup from the attackers to try to default, and this has been the main adjustment, right, outside of the timeout, to play slow, default the map, try to break some of this Cypher utility, and draw out the defensive util. Spooky is in a very aggressive position, not going to be noted off of that spy cam, so can maybe feed some info over, but looks like it's going to end up being a C-split.
My camera is destroyed.
Big information onto Cora there.
Yeah, looks like they were trying to go garage, couldn't really find anything, so it looks like B is going to be their choice. Lazy Lion was watching that angle, but it just goes wide, but Logic takes it away, doesn't expect the player sitting in the corner. Kills now go the way of Catnappers here, 3-4. Rolling Thunder is going to be used. Fells in an awkward spot. Goggles finds one coming out of garage, but that's spiked down, and they're going to see it. Fell in an awkward position. Nowhere to go, nowhere to hide, as it's 11-11.
A response, realistically, when needed most, to give themselves another buy, another chance to tie this up and push themselves to map point and close this out before striking overtime. For your sake, will pick up this operator, the attack op, to try to get something. And honestly, I'm kind of surprised we haven't seen this earlier on in the half, where there's been a lot of these aggressive plays, and it depends where For Your Sake is going to post up. It's actually not going to be anywhere, so not really getting any early lines where I think maybe over towards short could found value. So just holding this space, broke that tripwire. Trying to cause a lot of pressure, but Oz is tucked in.
A big alteration. Typically, you've been seeing them push into garage, break that trip, and then pull away, but they're just pushing out super aggressively. Smoke's going to go down on the CT, which means this site is theirs, excuse me. They're not going to fire off that tripwire, which is going to give a lot of information away that it's not planted in that long position.
And look at how far away Sova
playing
is.
for flank.
Yeah, they have to rotate over. Now they can have this retake. There wasn't that ultimate to delay, but here it comes.
Okay, Hunter's Fury being invested. Don't know if he's going to find anything. Spooky finds the one in window. That's going to be massive. Post plant is set up. Two playing towards long. And the kills go the way of Kinetic. Last player standing is Arthur. Has done a super good job throughout this entire game. Can't shoot the clay pigeon. And Goggles finds the trade in response. And that is massive here. It's going to be, I think, a bit of a scattered buy. There's not enough for a full rifle buyout. And there's no Blade Storms or ultimates in anyone's hands.
No, they used
everyone
it.
for the side of Catnappers is so low. 3 out of 8's the best they got. They're going to have to find picks here early.
That was almost a free site contacting through. And just the retake setup didn't come out on top. So they'll try to go back to contesting this early A short space, but it's just been so deadly. And For Your Sake, just peeking through the smoke with the op, takes down Cora.
Okay. We see the camera yet again used super aggressively from Spooky. Gets the information that there's nothing directly in sight, or at least there wasn't. I do think that gives away some information there. No one on the flank. The Lazy Lion with the swing, with the Sheriff finds 2, gives the team hope. Makes it a 3v4. Low health on the Sova though, and outgunned, or at least outshielded to say the least. For Your Sake was able to find the opening pick with the operator, but now in this disadvantageous position, I don't know if the operator is the gun you want to use. I don't know if this is the best position for this gun.
I'm not sure, but they still have 50 seconds left, so they have some time to play with. And this defense, while they did rotate and make the right call early on, they have to backfill the rest of this map. They have to make sure that there's no gaps in their play. And Lazy Lion with another peek with that Sheriff.
Okay, kills go the way. Fell, and For Your Sake do what they need to do. Fell with the overheal, finds a kill, and now Angie has done super well all game. For your sake, takes a lot of damage. 6 health remain. Puts out the leer. They know exactly where they are. They see the gun barrel too. This is a deadly position to be in. This needs to be super clean from Angie. Plays close with the shorty, but Fell is able to pick it up from the contact. And despite it being so back and forth, despite Catnappers taking the lead and running with it, in the end, Kinetic are able to drag themselves over the line, not going to repeat of their game 1 from yesterday, and they close out Haven, taking them 2-0.
13-11 here, and my God, Soren, I thought it was going to get out of hand. I mean, those initial 3 rounds with the bonus being converted for Catnappers in the second half, I thought they were going to take it and just run away. It felt like Kinetic had lost all of their momentum after that. I mean, a little bit of a comeback, but just so resilient. And I mean, both of these teams proving why they deserve to be here in the grand finals. But honestly, I mean, I think it just came down to a little bit of, at the end of the day, that timeout. And just whenever these teams were winning their rounds respectively, it really came down to the fundamentals of, okay, we're going to play together. We're going to stick together as a team and play off of each other. And we saw that right after the timeout got called. It was, okay, we're going to default break this util. Let's not go for some of these solo peaks. What worked for Catnappers after they took their timeout was just, okay, guys, we got to stop just try peeking the operator one by one. Like, these small adjustments for both teams really is what's putting them across the line. Lazy Lion as well. I know they lost the map, and I know we need to talk about Kinetic, but my God, man. I mean, Soren, you can see it just in the last round how much they were trying a 3K with the Sheriff, but that was not the only round. They were having insane impact on this overall.
Yeah, absolutely not. They were doing absolutely everything on the map, but not even just Lazy Lion. We saw them play so well, but for your sake, topping the board for Kinetic. I mean, you pointed out they were stuck at 14 kills for a while. They were kind of plateauing. And then in those last couple rounds, especially after that timeout, they exploded and just went crazy, especially with that operator. They were playing super well, and they were able to get themselves into a good position and get themselves over the line. But man, very close affair. It could have been either side to take that game. But with that being said, we are going to send it to a quick break before we get into game number 3, which is going to be Bind, in a position where Catnappers are looking to get themselves to at least a game 4, while Kinetic are looking to close it out 3-0 style. But we'll have to wait and see if that happens. Game 3 will be coming at you in just a couple of minutes. Don't go anywhere.
Bienvenidos a Madrid. Eso no. We are here. Let's go. No confiaron, pero míralo. Llego con los míos y la grada explota. Le di la razón al que me quiso ver bien. Lo soñé en mi habitación y ahora en primera me ven. No te hablo del avión. Vine por mi cinturón. Recuerde mi nombre, no me importa cuándo ni dónde. Yo por esto la sufrí y aposté por mí como el doble. Yo no sé lo que es perder desde el 2000 y pico. Y si fallo, detrás tengo a mi equipo. No confiaron, pero míralo. Llego con los míos y la grada explota.
It was 11-11 at one point, but they just weren't able to get themselves over the line. Now they're going to be going over to Bind of all maps. Zero, how we feeling? What are your thoughts as we go in?
I'm excited. We haven't gotten to see a Bind throughout the playoffs so far, so I think it should be an exciting matchup. But like you said, Kinetic has just continued their streak of dominance, and Catnappers really had a good showing, honestly, coming into map number 2, but just couldn't push it across the line. It was 13-11. Had that chance to get to match point before them, but I think if Catnappers really want to start off strong, I think it needs to be here in the pistol round, get themselves an early lead, an early advantage, because Kinetic just continues to get these first pistol rounds going for themselves. And once they have that little bit of leeway, once they have that lead, it feels like coming back just seems like a Sisyphean task. It just seems like that ball, the rock, is just always going to roll back down. We know the fate, but this is do or die, like you said. This is map number 3. It's going to have to be a reverse sweep for Catnappers if they want to take home this trophy and take home the first place prize, Soren.
Absolutely. And I think Sisyphean Task is really a very good way of putting it, because this is not going to be an easy hill to climb. They're going to have to get over this bind, which, I mean, looking at the previous games from the last, yesterday, excuse me,
Yeah.
they banned out this map in both games. It wasn't their first ban in both series. It was their first ban for their second game of the day against Exiled Monarchs. It was their second ban against Hyperspeed Lilac. So this is not a map that we've seen either of these teams play, but notably only one team has banned it. So that, I think, is going to be a very big thing to remember here.
And these teams did play, I believe, binds in their previous matchup, right? It was, I think, 15-13, I want to say, with Catnappers taking that. So they were able to come out on top, or 13-7, excuse me. But either way, it still won that one out. I think these compositions are going to be very different, though, as we head into Agent Select pretty shortly. But I really want to see Arthur swap back over towards that Initiator. I did, honestly, though, I loved the Sova coming out from Lazy Lion, so maybe a double Initiator comp again. Okay, it's actually gonna be the Brimstone, Korra locking in that Sage, and Oz on the Raze. So again, lots of roles switch ups here. But meanwhile, for Kinetic, this is pretty similar to what we seem to expect. The Deadlock is a little interesting from Spooky, but other than that, sticking to pretty similar roles for this Team Kinetic side.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the big difference here for me is the Sentinel pickups. Obviously, the Deadlock definitely growing in popularity, especially on this map. I also think got a little bit of a small buff in some recent patches, and I think is a little bit stronger, especially after some of the recent nerfs from the last patch. So just consequentially got a little bit stronger. But it's going to be going up against a Sage, and it's going to be Korra. So you'd imagine it's a little bit more of a battle Sage, if anything, especially with how aggressive Korra was on the last 2 maps. So I don't know how well that pickup will actually do to help out the defensive side. But notably, I will say I was incorrect before. It is actually going to be Kinetic on the attack side to start off. Trade piece for piece here. Arthur is just completely left alone, even though they know their location. And now Spooky left alone in a 1v4. Is playing around the smokes, but really nothing they could do. They find one, but it's not enough. It's going to be a nice, clean pistol round. That first pistol round we've seen Kinetic lose in a while. Actually, never mind. They lost the last one. So, the second time in a row, which is not something we've seen.
Yeah. But still, I think it's a great way to start. And I think that's what you want. Start building up some of these big, important ultimates. Korra already 4 pips towards that orb. Arthur obviously got that 3K. And I think for players like them, if you want to have that confidence come back, start giving these players opportunities to frag early. It's going to be actually Korra dropping Arthur a rifle as well. So that Korra can kind of beat this battle stage. Oz with the Outlaw as well. And, well, it's a different, player, Look at this. Look at this. Just farming up these orbs. Already 1 away. It's just, that's the game plan, the general game plan. They have spike control. They don't even know it, I don't think, though, Soren.
No, they don't. And it's been completely left, but doesn't really matter. Angie finds the player down B long. I don't know if they're aware of logic yet, but they have the read, and Cora is just running around the map. He's in a full circle of it now, and is going to find that kill and hit again in a very tricky position. That spike was never spotted, but now, since it was left alone so long, this attack side needs to be super careful. They're going to get it, but there's nowhere safe. I mean, pushed up through showers. Technically, a short is clear, but they're not aware of that.
No, they're
They're
not.
going to walk right into this.
I
they're gonna walk
this
right into him.
outlaw, It's just going to be...
Yeah.
Spike down A.
Oh, they try to go for the satchel
30
peek
seconds
and
left.
does not quite hit Os. A little bit overzealous there, but Fell only being able to pick up that outlaw. I don't think will be great in this situation. He's gonna get the plant down, get a little bit of extra money, back away, has to get away, but can't do so. They'll get that plant at least, but nothing much more, as they notably did not buy stingers like they tried last time, which cost them the bonus. They are going to be able to full buy next
as well. I mean, Arthur got dropped that gun, so
Remember,
can
Brimstone.
pretty much
If
have a
anything
full
happens
bonus
to you,
here
I'll take the lead.
if they would like to, and buy
Weapon
one
here.
up. And they still have that res as well in the hands of Cora, so has another lease on life. But I'm really interested to see. So neither team picked a Sentinel with information. So it definitely, all of those info Cinties got nerfed a little bit. But on this attack side,
With me.
where Spooky is going to be really the left to be that lurker, you have to just hold map control very intentionally on the attack side. Default out. You can't just go for these hard execs and not really leave a player to set up. You have to contest map space, or else the map is just very chaotic very quickly. And so once again, early extremity control on both sides, but Core actually gets shut down with that outlaw in hands. Now
That's massive for them, especially as that race took a lot of damage over in shower. They just need to be very careful of lamps. They fell to it, and the aggression coming out of it in round 1. They have to be aware of it here in round 2. Logic, the only player pushing out into showers. This smoke wall is going to fall. Os has to play carefully. Is going to get hit by that net. A lot of information given. A is where they want to go. Arthur playing spoiler in the corner is able to find Fell. They know where they are, but only the Guardian hand's not going to be enough. Lazy Lion finds 2 and gets the spike. This is a terrible position for your sake. Back onto this Viper. Not going to have as much ability to do what they want to do. They're going to catch Spooky, and now, for your
30
sake,
seconds left.
has to do it for the sake of the team. The satchel comes through, and with the Bucky Oz picks him up. Oh, the bonus round, a taste of their own medicine. As they fall 3-0 here early.
and a beautiful bonus conversion. Even though Cora goes down early, the player with the res, what I thought would be maybe the win condition for Catnappers here, it doesn't even matter, as that showers controls. Lazy Lion again going huge for their team. I'm not exactly sure who's IGLing. I think that Lazy Lion definitely has to be one of those more vocal players, but on this initiator role has just so consistently had impact kills that have given their team so many rounds. Here, Oz shoots down Fell with this outlaw, and they just seem to be farming this up. There's absolutely no space that Team Kinetic feel like they can get for free.
Yeah. With the Clove down, it's going to make it very difficult. That's your primary entry, Smokes, not being available to you anymore. Only Sheriff's in hand. This is an expected round to lose, but they need to make something happen. Cora finding the one, sitting in TP. Gonna have to make something happen. Logic's gonna be spotted. Cora's gonna find yet another kill. And Cora on the battle stage going crazy.
God.
Make it 3, and they get the spike. And now, yet again, for your sake, is gonna be in a very difficult spot. And Lazy Lion has the read. And that is gonna be a flawless. It's a round they expected to lose, but definitely would have hoped to get something a little bit more out of it.
Definitely so, and still, I wouldn't hate to see finally a timeout be called here because there's no ultimates online. You're one away from this annihilation for Spooky, but so maybe try something where you contest one of the orbs early on, but we've continually seen for 4 rounds how much pressure Catnappers is putting on, and now Oz brings out the operator, actually dropping the outlaw, and will be posted into a wall, but meanwhile, there's heavy fights over towards Long, and it's just giving up, and Oz takes down For Your Sake through the wall, so that's your lurker down. Now you have no space over towards A, and Team Kinetic, they're gonna feel pigeonholed over towards the B site.
Yeah, and that operator is definitely going to make them question a lot of things. A is no longer a viable means for them to make their move. Will they expect there's only 2 players sitting here, but not seeing anything by Hookah? They're going to play back on site a little bit. Looks like they might even be rotating towards A. Yeah, they don't have the read. Cora, during that tap is going.
Maybe just for retake, but here comes the exec, so
okay, double satchel in, gets the Viper up top. The Brimstone ultimate coming out. Laser beam from space. Core's just gonna push it. Take a lot of damage in the process. Spike is gonna get picked up, making its well over towards A. And now gonna try to stretch him thin.
30 seconds left.
But the res comes out. They need to get this. Will they expect the player in Hookah? Yeah, they will, but they will get the kill regardless. Goggles coming up massive. Is going to seen by the Haunt, but is going to find 2. Still hasn't been hit yet. Cora's going to find them and fell. Yet again, another player in a really rough position. Gets caught with a knife out in lamps. And that's 5 in a row. We need to see a timeout. It's collapsing here for Kinetic.
it's so rough there. They got onto site and it looked like they might have a chance, but with that delay, it was just too much, and then it just couldn't get enough done. The res came through, and it just felt like just nothing could happen. So 5 in a row here for Catnappers. They'll still be able to carry over that operator into this round, the showstopper in that back pocket. On the other side, I'm looking at some of these big ults coming online, right? The Annihilation now online, only 1 away from the Nightfall, but we need to see a switch up in game plan. So here it is, trying to fight heavier over towards A early. Maybe some extremity control, because we have not seen this work out at all for Team Kinetic. And okay, actually Spooky comes out on top here, so 2 huge kills there.
Drop that Molly, but it's not going to find anything. Fell finding the kill. This is a massive start for Kinetic here, as they finally have some sort of advantage for the 2. The retake is going to be between the Sage and the Viper. Not exactly known for their retaking ability. They're actually going to utilize the Clove ultimate. Fell getting back into the action. But put on the timer. Puts them in a tricky spot. Do they want to take that fight? They're not backed away. Fell finds both. Talk about making the ult worth it. At least they get the round out of it. I don't know if it was really necessary, but it helps confirm it. They'll take that all day. They stop the hemorrhaging.
I sincerely thought it was just going to be an ult to delay a little bit, to delay like 8 seconds in the retake, and I was like, honestly, I think that's worth it. I thought it was just going to be Fell going down there again, but I mean, 2 beautiful shots. We know this is why they were initially playing, I believe, the Omen, but ever since that one map of Haven have just stuck on the Clove, and it has worked out so well for them. And so they still have some of those ultimates, but this Shower's control really is what allowed them to have success in that prior round. Oz picked up another operator and is posted there, but no one to... Okay, finally it gets broken off, but is there actually any util to push this off the angle, or is it swung dry? Because this could determine how the entire round plays out.
Right, Prowler over in Heaven's going to be seen, but Spooky taking the opportunity, taking advantage of it, is going to finally be traded out. Lazy Lion to find the kill there. Oh, and the push-up is going to be seen over in Belong, and Angie sitting in the corner is going to take advantage of it. 4-3 now. Tricky position. I mean, the First Bloods, we've talked about how important they are to Kinetic's, composition and how they like to play around them. And constantly being a man down is just not how they like to play.
Oh, the gun
Boy's gonna be
barrel!
spotted, though. That's huge. The pop-up, double satchel in. They have to clear it out. Smoke's gonna come down. Gonna make it
Oh my
difficult for
God.
them.
Oh
They
my
have to play this
God.
carefully.
Angie,
Logic's so
Angie.
close. Okay, Angie
30
is
seconds
found,
left.
but finds one in the process. Spike has to go down. It's a 2v2. Logic space is gonna be given away. Nightfall provided.
Last player standing.
Logic has to do it
Spike
all.
down, B.
Low health bars. And it's gonna be a swing through! And Logic finds it! And we'll get this plant. Massive round. Getting themselves over it. Logic coming up massive when it's oh so necessary.
And I was just about to point out, after a monster performance in map number 1, it feels like we just haven't been singing their praises all that much. Was sat at 1-6, but here comes out with the 3K when it matters most. The clutch in the 1v2. Oh my God, Soren.
Let's make some
An
chaos.
insane play to get that one across the line. And so, coming into round number 8 here, it did invest a lot of those ultimates prior, so that advantage will be on the side of Catnappers, but the wall and the Viper's Pit actually to back it up, but this one, it falls out of sight, so theoretically you could just send Logic over it, and
Launching smoke.
it's good for covering both of the choke
Yeah.
points, though, putting a lot of pressure on that. So we'll have to see if there's an actual way for this team to work around it. I know the Annihilation is still in hand, but
Nightfall is... Nightfall's not available to the attack side. It's available for the defense. 3 defensive ults available. Obviously, 1 being utilized with that Viper's Pit, but not many tools available to try to break through. I don't think they want to go A. They have not had all that much luck, which makes this a very tricky position. They want this B site. Just a matter of how they're going to get it. Viper Molly is being used to try to swing out. Prowler is going to give away a little bit of location. But repositioning very quickly, Angie's not going to be found. Sees.
30 seconds left.
That's huge. They're going to be decayed, but should be fine. Lazy Lion over on A, though. Finds one. The reposition.
the ult's just
Us
dry, though.
with the showstopper.
Spike down.
Okay, Logic
A.
doing what they
One
can,
enemy
but they
remaining.
can't find more. Yet again, in a disadvantaged position. It's just so difficult. This defense is so strong from the side of Catnappers.
And it felt like there was, like you said, they haven't had success over towards A, right? And I genuinely think that just put so much fear in the minds of Team Kinetic, because they were just stagnant the entire round. They weren't really doing anything towards that Viper's Pit because it covered both choke points. They didn't feel like they could force their way through. And then they just committed their ults towards A dry. It didn't really feel like they had a solid game plan there after that round win, so they need to come back into this one, and that is a great start. A Steez nade to take down Arthur. That's your biggest delay tools.
Okay, and they're putting a lot of emphasis over towards showers, but there's nothing there. They dropped this Nightfall now. It's gonna find everything, and they're going to. That's everyone. Viper's Pit is investing, and through the smoke, they're able to get and deny that planter. The Viper's Pit just ended up being a tomb for them. 3 players left setting for this defense, but having to push through the Viper's Pit proving to be very, very risky for your sake. Very smartly playing back. Oh no. Pushing out. This could be risky business, and they're gonna be found with the barrel sticking out, and that's the Viper's Pit down. They need to do everything. They can't find it. Lazy Lion with 3, and it's just a tragedy. Why do you push out there? Stay back. Keep the Viper's Pit up.
They just feel like they have to make a play, have to go for something in that player down situation. But I know you said there weren't any players over towards showers, but Bind is a map defined by the extremities, and we continually see it, right? This is what has been given or giving Catnappers such great defensive holds. You have control over the rotations if you have showers control, if you have long control. And there, the pit was there, sure, all 5 players in, but you don't have any pressure to put on showers, to put on those players shooting into the pit. It just doesn't matter. And so there's an eco round coming into round number 10, but they need to find a different strategy. Lazy Lion
Spike
again
down
is just
A.
fragging out of their mind. But Fell was able
Continuing
to
be a menace.
lurk through. That could be Look at this lurk. Look at this lurk.
Spike is down. It's going to be picked up. Fell finds the one. Bucky is going to be used to great effect. Logic finds one. Makes this a 3v3. Winnable position. Rifles are also secured.
Spike planted.
Grenade's going to be dumped in, but won't find all that much. I don't think they know the position of Logic. No, they do! And the shots are going wide. They're able to find 1-for-1, but low health for your sake.
Oh
Angie
my!
now looking the right way. Arthur is around on the flank. And the thrifty round comes out for Kinetic, showing signs of life here. But much like last game, we need to see them put 2 in a row. They put 2 in a row in before, but now they're starting to trade 2 for 2. And after losing the first 5, they can't concede many more rounds.
No, they cannot. But that was really off the back of a beautiful lurk by Fell. That's why you see this Viper be played pretty much every single time in the competitive scene, because this lurk, this pressure of the wall over towards short is so important. And so here, Korra picks up this position to make sure that there's no gaps in the protocols. But it's actually eyeing up and putting the pressure over towards long once again. And so, for your sake, will be the player over towards short. Can't get that frag to be converted. And I'm looking towards long. Both controllers for the defense side in that corner. There's so much delay with the smokes being put up that it just feels like nothing going through. But Fell's in window, might be able to make a similar timing happen.
A lot of space, and Goggles down B long is actually the player to find the opening pick. That is a massive boon. It is traded out. The Clove falling and losing your more active controller. A map like this is very difficult to overcome, especially since all the Viper utils have already been placed. This needs to be clean. Core tries to pull out the wall, but it doesn't matter. Core is going crazy. Finds 2. Angie picks up the 3rd.
30 seconds left.
And just like that, I think the dreams are dead. And the Sage Wall is going to stop Spooky. It's going to try to get the wall bang, but it's not going to find anything. And now Spooky in a terrible spot. No spike, no second means of entry. It's just save. Just save the rifle, take it into the next. And the final round, as the best they're going to get here, is an 8-4. This is the first time since map 1 that we've seen not just a neutral or worse round, but an actual losing position after the first half for Kinetic. Catnappers are looking so clean with it. I mean, Lazy Lion, 13-3-3. They've only died in 3 rounds.
Their defensive holds look so clean. It's exactly what you want to be seeing from this side. All right. And there has just been no answer for this consistent pressure towards the extremities. It seems like it's always this 2-2 or 2-1-2 to fight this long. You can see the attackers, Team Kinetic, pinging it out over towards long, where that smoke goes. And there's just a perma smoke, essentially, put up. And then there's this operator over towards long, and Spooky dry swings it again. Does not learn from their mistakes and goes down 5v4 in the last round of the half here, Soren.
It's looking dangerous, especially because this is actually an attack-sided map. Like a pretty convincingly attack-sided map. So this is not looking very good for Team Kinetic. If you're a fan, you're definitely starting to sweat a little bit as it looks more and more like no matter what, we're going to game 4. But still have time. In the 4v5 position. They are going to have some sort of advantage. Nightfall is going to be popped though. Fell, going to pop the ultimate, but he's running right into Korra. For your sake, he's also going to be ulted out and now separated. Goggles is going to find 1, only a stinger. Oh, the util too. That's massive. That's going to give him hope, but again, still low in terms of gun power.
30 seconds left.
Quick rotation. They're expecting everyone to be over on A.
Yeah, and can get the spike down,
diligent.
but they're not sure. Yeah, like you said, they're not sure of these positionings. And so they tap the spike, they go for a kill, but gets lit down in the process.
Jen, they get 1 for your sake. It's been so huge for this team. Needs to do it all, but can't do it. It's a 9-3. And man,
Switching sides.
Kinetic, not even a timeout. They're just gonna try to push on through. They're gonna have to have a nearly flawless second half if they want to try to take this 3-0. But man, Catnappers don't look like they're just trying to steal away a map 3. They are looking to determined to just take it in force and send us over to map 4.
They certainly are, and I was saying that if Catnappers want to take this map, if they want to take this series, it's going to have to be off of these early starts, and this is almost as good as you can get. But for the other side of Team Kinetic, we know how good their defense setups can be as well, so they're going to be trying to replicate the success of their opponents, and they need to be here with the pistol. Both maps prior have traded back pistol rounds, so it wouldn't be that much of a surprise, and seized up from both of them.
Decayed. Okay, Goggles finding that first kill onto Lazy Line. That's a big player to take down early as well. The Decay has worn off. Only one player. Just the Sage. Cora, the only one low, but obviously has the heal. I don't know if it's available to them quite yet, but we will do so in a little bit. Do you see Angie push up very aggressive? Taking a lot of space here in short.
Yeah, but the spike's making its way over towards B. There's a wall in the way over towards long, but it should dissipate soon, and Fell picks up the lurk onto Angie, so now it's a 5v3. They don't feel comfortable going in here. Biding their time for the time being. There's that heal that you mentioned.
Actually not going to be used on Cora. Instead, the smoke's deemed more important. It's a fair assessment, I would
30
say.
seconds
It's also having to be super careful. Has to check left, doesn't expect right for your sake. Is able to get the kill despite having to reload and showing signs. That's huge. Now,
It's a big
here,
moment.
I do have a question. Okay, it looks like it is not
an
going to be a
answer.
buyout. We're going to get a couple sheriffs, but it doesn't look like they're going to try to do anything crazy. No energy strats when it comes to having like a couple stingers or an Ares. It's going to be a full eco round, which should mean, as long as nothing goes horribly wrong, Kinetic get 2 in a row. It will close the
right?
gap. It should, in theory, hopefully. Should close the gap to 9-5. Make it a
There's a
much
shorty.
more winnable position.
Yeah, and I think if they can get this rounds, we know how good they can be on these bonuses, but Oz with the shorty, not able to get anything done, just one shot, but this Spectre, the recent buffs, it's just too much to deal with in this position. On this
Okay,
agent,
Fell
gets
finds
up 3.
Yeah, Fell finds 3 there. It's Lazy Lion, the last player standing on A. The defense has fully rotated over. They're expecting something, maybe a quick rotation, but nothing's coming out. Looks like A's still where they want to go. Brimstone having to be super careful, not knowing where anyone else is, sneaking around the back towards their spawn.
Yeah, I think just wanting to
Playing
group
it
up here. But honestly, I think they could get the spike down. They'd be happy campers here. Just get that ult point, get that little bit of extra cash in their back pocket.
Yeah, at this point, take any wins you really can, but it looks like, I mean, you have to play for it here. You have to die, because you're going to get extra credits
30
for
seconds
that
left.
loss streak. But they need to get the spike down at a minimum to do so, or they're going to have to die trying. 22 seconds left to play with. The jump peak is going to give away the location. Also, locates the last 2, and now with Spike being down. Lazy Line, the last one playing, the run and gun, not quite able to secure it from Goggles, but Spooky's there to back him up 2 rounds in a row. It's not as clean as they would probably like it, but they'll keep those 3. Though they are in a position, they're trying to do it again for your sake with that hero rifle. They're technically able to buy even more. Fell could. No. Okay, they're going to opt to go for a sheriff. So 1 hero rifle to play with, and that is it.
Yeah, I would be
Against
looking
the
over
full
towards
buy of Catnappers.
someone like Logic to pick up that, but I think really wants to, I would assume, pick up an operator as soon as possible, but still a lot of danger into this round. But notably enough, it's, you look at the difference in the defensive setup early on here. There's not those double pushes for extremity controls, right? It's just the small jiggle from Spooky. Can throw out the wall if need be, and just a pixel angle from Fell. And so there's going to be a lot of pressure here over towards Showers. And break this wall for Arthur, so there's not going to be any commitments quite yet. And Lazy Lion takes that angle down, and this is what I'm talking about. You now lost Showers. You have to watch 2 angles. Your attention is split.
Okay. Oh, yep, and Showers falls apart. The defense on A falls apart. And just like that, it's a 5-2. Last 2 players of the defense sitting on A. Viper's gonna stay by the anchor,
One
but at this
enemy
point,
remaining.
at what cost? And Spooky's gonna get gunned down. Sure, it was an eco. This Viper is holding a rifle, though. You would almost want to save this. Okay, is gonna get a kill, but now giving away their location. Is gonna try to take that fight. Doesn't take any damage in the process, but now this is a hunting match. They want to remove that rifle from them. For your sake, wants to keep it. Maybe get as many exit frags as possible. They're just kind of collapsing in on them right now. For your sake, if you could just survive, I don't know if it's worth hunting. You're gonna die, and you're gonna lose the Vandal. I don't know if that's worth it. I think that's a sit in the corner, take that 1 kill, take the credits, take the rifle into the next round. That was risky business. I don't think it was worth it.
I mean, they can still buy, so they still have that option. And they were just doing some extra damage towards the economy, because you see, look at Lazy Lion compared to the rest of their teammates. Can adjust the credits a little bit, but either way, still both teams able to get that full buy. And Logic, like I said, picking up that operator, going to be posted on top of Truck. And this time, we're seeing 2 players try to defend this area over towards Showers, the wall as well, to assist, and just spam shots through the smoke to do a little bit on to Goggles regen armor to heal them right back up. But it's a very slow attack side from Catnappers. They don't want to really overextend. I think they're aware of the potential of the operator.
Yeah, they seem super happy to just default through. Angie in a really difficult position, could be spotted out by Logic. Sees the barrel, and Logic finds it. That also gives away the fact that they have the operator, which means that this entire attack is gonna have to reroute and decide how they want to take this. Spooky's gonna be spotted there. Grenade gonna stall them out. Cora is gonna be hit by that. They have the means to just teleport away, but there's still a hold happening on A. Lazy Lion, though, sticking around. Nightfall's gonna pop. Nope, never mind. Not gonna invest it. The TPs do come through, though. Logic playing the last player on site. Finds one with the op. Information is given away. Has to back away. Decayed as well. Fell takes that fight and wins it with Lazy Lion over in Lamps. Cora is going to get the res, but it's gonna come for nothing. Cora has to do it all. Thought they were gonna be in a 2-pair, but Cora, they've done so well this entire game, but they are trapped. That Sage Wall makes it a very difficult position. Popped up over top, could possibly get an angle, not quite. Cora's gonna spot them, finds Logic.
Oh my god!
Cora, what are you doing? Finds 4 to win the round against the odds, gets them to 11. That's gonna decimate the economy.
There's
that
no
might just be map
way.
point off of that incredible play. What is Kinetic doing?
Oh my god. That is insanity. The 1v4 clutch to make it out. I don't even understand. I need to watch that one back, Soren. Absolute ridiculous work, and that crushes the economy. Look at how messy this buy is for the side of Team Kinetic, but they just want to put something together to get it going. They don't want to play into overtime here on Binds.
Poison's off. Toxin screen down.
Yeah, tricky position here, especially as they just immediately find 2. And now in a 5v3 situation, it's looking a little desperate. It was a forced buy from this defense. His Goggles gonna find 1. Fell gonna pop the ultimate, try to keep themselves alive, make a winnable position, and it's just not. Lazy Lion 3 on the round. Cora and Lazy Lion average of 20 kills, 21 for Lazy Lion, 19 for Cora. And they're just decimating everyone they come across. Lazy Lion with another 4K. Back-to-back 4Ks from the top frags. And if you're Kinetic, what can you do? What do you do at this point? But in the possible final round here, 12-5, we are going to have to see some Fnatic level mental and comeback possibilities if they want to take this 3-0. We see aggression very quickly coming out, and it's gonna be punished as Arthur and Oss pick out 2. They're gonna find 1. Fel does something here. Sage Wall coming down, gonna give way for the spike plant. But man, 4v3. A little bit of a miss shot there from the Sage.
Still.
One down.
Okay. For your sake. Doing what they can.
Oh.
Arthur finds 1. Spooky needs to find these 2 in lamps, and now Fel has done a really good job all game. One of the top frags, but you just can't do it alone. And man, Kinetic not just looking a little weak on that map, but looking mortal, looking like this can seriously go all the way as Catnappers, like I said before, don't just steal a map away, they take it by force to take game 3. Cool.
Absolute showing here on Binds, and I felt like it all came down to that defensive side. What a strong start for this team of Catnappers, getting that pistol and then really just solidifying that they had the better understanding of the map, how to play for it, play towards those extremities, and really shut down any attempt that Team Kinetic had on the attack. And once those sides swapped, it just felt like it was too little, too late, Soren, not enough room to play with. And that is going to be Catnappers going 1-2, excuse me. And this is the first step in a reverse sweep here. That is a very important map to take it on. Bind, which we haven't really seen, but it was a bit of unknown waters for both teams. But I think going into this next one of Ascent, it's a little bit more up in the air. I feel like we've gotten to see both teams on this, so it might be a little bit more interesting as we head into that.
Yeah, absolutely. We definitely see Kinetic on it. They won it pretty convincingly over a very strong Skyline Otters team. But obviously, everything is in question now. This is the first time really Kinetic have looked mortal. And it's not just mortal, they looked very, very beatable. This is something that we would expect to see a scoreline from them just yesterday, and they kind of get dunked on here in Bind. So I am really intrigued to see how everything goes. We could see the scoreline here, though, and it really is a tale of 2 teams. I mean, Kinetic MVP is Fel with 11 and 19, not even 200 ACS. It was just a struggle bus day for them here on Bind.
But it's Lazy Lion again coming out on top for their team. 2 maps in a row. And on this initiator role, I know it's just insane work. Like picking up the Sova there, sure, they lost the map, but ended on 25 frags. And so many of these are impact frags as well. You look at the rounds where Lazy Lion is getting these 2Ks, these 3Ks. It's when it matters most, and continues this insane performance here on Binds. It's just exactly what you want to see. And I hope going in
Game number 4 here in this grand finals. Catnappers dominate on Bind and take the map to send us to game number 4. We'll be making our way over to Ascent here. Zero, what are your thoughts? We finally see a little bit of mortality come out from this Kinetic side.
Yeah, it was a great showing from the side of Catnappers. I love to see the adaptation really coming in with a set idea of how they wanted to play Bind on that defensive side and just running away with it on that half. And they took it 9-3. And honestly, great showing from them. Lazy Lion continued their dominance on that initiator role, but it felt like a bit of the first real like fall off, I guess, for any of these Kinetic players, right? Not a single one ended up going positive, and they really kind of fell flat on Bind. So hopefully, it took a little bit of a break in between maps. We're headed to Ascent next, where we've seen them take that victory. I think it was 13-7 yesterday over Skyline Otter. So we've seen them have success here before. A lot of, I think it was the standard comp that they played. So coming in today, I think they should be confident as long as they can reset their mental from that previous map loss.
Yeah, absolutely. But I mean, to give a lot of props over to Catnappers, Lazy Lion and Cora, we are going to have to keep an eye on them. Obviously, we did not have as much information, not having watched their games yesterday, but man, they are going absolutely nuclear. Oss is also making incredible plays. Not as many kills, but has absolutely been a key difference maker, getting the important frags. Less so the same quantity as the other two, but the entire team was just firing on all cylinders. It just felt like they had the book of Kinetic and they're just reading it and they just gave no room for this Kinetic side to breathe. I am really intrigued. Obviously, this map is a little bit more standard, and one that we joked is solved a lot, which with the current patch, who knows if it's going to remain that way. But we don't have any fancy TPs. We don't have 3 maps. This is a very simple 3-lane map, 2 sites, 1 very long open corridor in mid, which is the big thing for this map. But besides that, I think this is a lot more normal. So we're going to have to wait and see how this plays out for these teams. So we do see Agent Select come through. The big thing I'm looking at is that Deadlock. Arthur rocking Deadlock here on Ascent. Definitely not the normal.
No, but it's something that I definitely know they've played a decent amount in the past. Is Angie actually swapping from it's going to be a double Sentinel composition, and Angie actually goes over to the Omen to play the controller role, and Oz picking up this Yoru. Still definitely got a lot of nerfs, especially with that ultimate, but still has a lot of staying power here. But on the other side, I'm really interested. It's the switch up from the KO over towards the Reyna for your sake to kind of allow maybe for some more of those individualistic plays. But I was really enjoying what I was seeing with the KO yesterday. I think the power of that new underhand flash can be super great because it can be just nearly impossible to dodge those. And so going up to 2.25 seconds is an insane buff for that agent. But it will be the Reyna being picked up and maybe just wanting to give a bit more confidence to them, especially after that map loss. Let these individuals come out to shine. They'll be starting off on this attack side. They'll be wanting to start off strong. A similar start. I think this is going to be the exact same pistol round we got to see yesterday against Skyline Otters. Early play, Dart with the top mid, and it's just a B split to start this one off.
Notably here, this is one of the most defensive-sided maps in the entire game, and it is going to be Catnappers wanting to have a strong start. But with that being said, the pistol round looking more and more likely to be going over to Kinetic as they run them down on B, catch everyone off guard, catch the player in the mid, and for your sake, just doesn't stop. Cora continuing their dominance though, finds 2 to get a couple of extra credits in their wallet, but won't be able to do everything. So it's the first round very quickly going over to the side of Kinetic. Something we're kind of used to, but it's definitely not an indicator of how the game's gonna go if last map has anything to say about it.
But it was the exact same way. It was the exact same pistol round, and it ended up going the same way, right? It's just so much to deal with. The pressure towards mid and the rotations just aren't there. And so the pistol round picked up on the attack side as well. You get 2 rifles committed over here. Cora and Lazy Lion, those 2 star players for Catnappers, picking up Sheriffs here to try to get something going, but actually deciding to walk over towards this B site and exec here, but there's already 4 players, Soren. This could get dangerous if they don't make this clean.
Yeah, Logic, though, finds 2 immediately, and they have the read that they're all in market. All 3 of them are going to be giving away their location with that Cypher Cage, too. Angie with the Classic is going to do what they can. Find Logic before your sake. Yet again, rocking that Vandal by. He's going to find 2. Fell. He's going to run them down. Find the 5th. It's not quite a flawless, but 4 players left standing is nice. Double Vandals already bought out. They were able to save 2 Spectres. There's the possibility of getting another Vandal here. No, they're going to go for a Guardian. So 3 rifles to play with. So there's a chance for the Classic here from Kinetic. But obviously full buy they're going to be going up against. So less and less likely.
And I'm very interested to see here, right, this double Sentinel composition. We got to see a few teams play it like G2 and Paper X over at Champions, but it was the Vice instead of this Deadlock. And whenever it was getting a lot of value, it's exactly by this. Cora has this Sage Wall, you put it up over towards... Yeah, and oh my god, just an elbow sticking out.
Boss in a tricky spot, possibly able to do something. Arthur's able to find 2, makes it a trade for trade, but in the end, it's a 2v3. Spooky not having a rifle or anything to play with. They know that the Jet is stuck on site. Did not get hit in the process though, so still full health to work with. Shots. Spooky finds 1, and they're able to clean it up. And we see another vintage 3-0 start for Kinetic here. Incredible performance from them so far. That is nice. Also, just limiting how many kills that this team can get. Only 2 for their top fraggers of Arthur and Cora. It's not just that they're winning the rounds, but since they're winning them convincingly, they're denying extra credits going into their opponent's pockets.
And that has to feel bad for Lazy Lion. I'm not sure if it was just a miscomm or if it was genuinely just them knowing they were sticking out, but gets punished. And so now it's an eco, but it's a full brawl here in B main.
Awesome. Okay. Fell finds 2. Bucky doesn't really find anything. Sage Wall is going to come out. Obviously, no res to play for, so it's just a stalling tactic at this point, which is going to be used effectively, it looks like. The attackers are going to pull away, but obviously, as you've seen before, they like playing that man advantage. Spooky in a really good position for a backstab. Is going to find 1. Is not going to push their luck. They're just going to close door, place down that trip, and play more advanced on site, giving way for their team to get on the site. We need to play this carefully. Cypher Cage, double, gonna be popped up.
Yeah, and I want to make note of this while these 2 players are alive. I think this should be able to pretty clean to close this one out, but both of these Sentinels don't have information. Typically, when you see the double Sentinel comps played, it's with a Vise, with a Cypher, with a Chamber, something to kind of give that information so you can hold down mid and really just have a super strong hold towards those sites. You can do like a 1-1-3. But here, neither Sage nor Deadlock really has that info utility. Sure, you can put up the walls, but those go away after 40 seconds. So you can break them or just wait them out. And you really don't have the same amount of site insulation that you do with something like a Vise or a Killjoy, right? And so on this defense, I feel like that's kind of what's allowed Spooky 2 rounds in a row now to kind of get these lurk timings. So there needs to be an adjustment coming into round number 5 here as the credits start to just get out of hand, I feel, for this attacking side. Yeah. Already 4 rounds on the unfavored side of Sit here.
I feel like this composition is built really well for retakes, but they're not playing for that. They're trying to play a very high line. Do you see that wall coming out? That's going to make it very difficult for them to get access to that door to shut it. They're going to get the spike down, flash out. Trades a piece though, 2 for 2 overall. Spike was planted, Fell sitting very deep in hell. Last 2, very low. They're expecting something. You have to be careful. Fell is going to be felled, but it's going to pop the Clo Volt. Has to take this fight. 2v1 now. It's planted for them, but no. Angie stops the bleeding. It was chaotic, but they get the win. Massive round for them.
Thank you.
A lot of kills. A lot of ult points now as Angie and Cora sitting on their ultimates. It's a good win for them.
It was, and I think that deadlock wall, you said it perfectly. It made it super difficult to actually close that door down. And so that allowed the flood to come back in from Angie and Arthur over towards Tree while the Heaven players were distracting. And beautiful retake to get Catnappers the first round of the HAP for themselves and stabilize their own economy a little bit here. Rez online, one away from both that Dimensional Drift and the Hunter's Fury. But I'm going to be really wondering, when can they get an Operator online? That's been the main win condition for a lot of those rounds. I felt like yesterday, Arthur going to get out, but oh my god, just the spam through the wall onto Goggles, and now that's your only initiator down. It's going to be contact for the rest of this round here, Soren.
Yeah, and that Sage Wall is going to make it very difficult to push out. I mean, a little lucky there. I still think that the retake position is what they should be going for. I mean, look, so much denial of space with those two walls. A is just practically unhittable now. And Core is still going to find that kill. The kill over on B. Man, Kinetic stalling out here in round number 6. It's just fell. Already popped ultimate, so nothing to work with in that regard, but I don't even know if it's worth it as that wall's gonna drop with a smoke will, and that wall does nothing to protect them. And the moment they drop those smokes, they know their location, they're just able to spray through. Kinetic just don't even really get a lot of ground there, completely stall out.
Can't get anything going, and it was really off the back of that initial pick on to Goggles. And I mean, I thought Arthur was honestly going to get punished there going for that swing, but gets it done and really wins the round off of it. So here they have all those big ultimates online now. Omit the Annihilation, but we're going to have to see a bit of a switch up from the game plan on the side of Team Kinetic. And it looks like they're just going to go back to that pistol round strategy, this B split through market. You dart and you take this space early. The knives in hands of Logic do deadly damage.
Okay. Logic is going to find one with the Blade Storm, but it's only going to be the one as Lazy Lion and Us find trades in their own regard. A lot of space taken up in mid, but does mean that they're a little bit trapped, especially with the one playing in flank. For your sake, popping the Empress has to do everything. Doesn't get the kill on the Cora and falls. And what was a really strong start, 4 rounds in a row, it's looking weaker and weaker as 3 in a row now in response from this Catnappers team, as they look like they're finally getting, a little bit of a kick in the butt and waking up here on map 4.
Certainly so. It feels like they have the read now for how to play against this comp, because if we're being real, if you look at the amount of utility that the teams have, if you look at Team Kinetic's utility compared to Catnappers, it's just, it doesn't compare. You have so little to actually get through, and Oz picking up this Operator finally. The shorty in hand will take down For Your Sake. Another first blood going their way.
Okay.
They're just trying to force through. Yeah, it's rough here, Soren.
Yeah. Like I said before, this is technically a defensive side of map. Not technically. This is a defensive side of map. So we're expecting here this to be a very winnable position from the side of Catnappers. It's just a matter of the response from the Kinetic. How many rounds can they pick up? If they could pick up, 4 or 5, that'd be very good. Oz just has them red. The slow peek around the corner is going to be punished as that Operator is now out in full force. Goggles
This is almost
stuck in an awkward position.
It feels unwinnable, doesn't it? The Operator, you've Darton too, so maybe you can get something going. Honestly, the glass isn't broken though, so can't make their way through that. Can't find the timing.
30 seconds left.
They can get at least 1 kill, especially on
There's
Oz, but
if they wrapped around, went
Pulled
through
too close.
heaven, There is, oh no, the read is wrong. If they wrap through heaven, they could have found the Yoru and the site for free. But the shot goes wide.
10
Okay.
seconds left.
Flashed. 8 seconds. Shots.
That's
Hit.
the big kill.
Spike goes down. Will have enough time. It's planted for long.
Scanning
Has
ahead.
full utility, mind you. That dart doesn't get any information. They need to play this smart. Paired up. Shoulder to shoulder. Pack mentality is what they're going to need here. That grenade's going to go wide, not land, but that's going to give a lot of information. Both are going to see him. They're going to see both. And Angie is going to be the one to pick it up. Goggles.
Thank you.
Securing the kill. There we go. 4-4.
Returning.
A full comeback from the side of Catnappers brings it level.
And it is just an absolute shutout here early on in these rounds. The defense are just doing such a good job of holding these positions, and Team Kinetic really do not seem like they have the utility or the
Sound sensor out.
flashes to go through. They're just trying to contact through some of these angles, and it's not favored for them. So they consistently keep getting punished, and the clutch can't come through. They'll be able to buy up another round here. Goggles does have that Hunter's Fury, but on the other side, some big ults to respond. And I'm gonna use this drone right off the bat to push through this one way. They can get Cora, but still, Wine is a separate issue.
Peek out. Of course, gonna take a little bit of damage. Will not fall. Wine's clear, but they're gonna shoot through that wall, so it's not as protective as they would like. It's actually gonna be completely gone, in fact. They still have extra bits of setup here as both Sentinels are set up
This
on
is
A.
what I'm saying. Look, Logic just used Dash and both Cloudburst, which are two of the biggest tools to actually get out onto the site as an attacker here. Now you have to contact through. You maybe have Rain of Flashes, which got nerfed actually, but it doesn't matter if Fel can just get the kills like that.
Okay. It's gonna play in and around the smoke. Oss has to be careful that the barrel doesn't show. Super close. TP's away. Lazy Lion on the other side of the map finds the lurker in B main. It makes it look like A is a destination, but then Fel is found as well. So where are you gonna go? The shot goes wide. Logic though gets the 2. That's massive.
30 seconds left.
The grenade goes
One enemy
through.
remaining.
A is officially open. Logic in a position to take this fight. Is gonna see the player. Is gonna take the fight. Is gonna win it. Chaotic push through, but Logic off the back of an incredible play in mid gets them the win.
And it's funny, what has kind of not really worked well for them in the past, they were getting really just absolutely shut out by playing individualistic on Haven, but here, that was what got them the round, and honestly, maybe that's what they need to lean into a little bit more on this attack side. I know, I just don't feel like it's very consistent. We saw 4 rounds in a row of response, of shutting that down, and Oz will be able to pick up another operator here into round number 10. This time posting over towards A main. There's heavy presence to try to maybe go for some sort of B split jump spot from Arthur.
They push up. Sorry, they were spamming 6-7, and Cora just went in party chat and started banging on their desk. They push up through mid. They've taken a lot of space. Yet again, Logic doing exactly what they did in the last round that was so successful. Though with this wall, it's very risky. If this swing out from Deadlock is a little bit wider, they could be punished for it pretty heavily. They are going to be hit by that grenade. They don't have the time. And extra slowed. Just no movement allowed. Okay.
And the Sage Wall broke. It fell over towards Cat, so what once was a very secure setup,
Spike
now
down,
a
B.
little bit of holes in it, but it doesn't matter because there's duels going
For
on.
sake.
B.
And Logic is finally going to be seen. But for your sake, they're not
Enemy
checking
remaining.
market.
Oh my.
Oh no! Angie finds 2. Cora revives Arthur. And now, for your sake, Empress has to do it all. 1v4 has to read, but the shots are going wide, just over the shoulder of Angie. Miracle Worker in market finds 3 on the round, and they're able to bring it back 5-5. We're trading blows now between these teams. Both teams want this map desperately.
And we didn't really see or get to see it, but it was Oz who initially pushed up with that operator over towards A main and just fed information to their team the entire round, which allowed for 4 players to be stacked over towards that market and B area and just collapse on all of those Team Kinetic players, really enabling that round victory. So tied back up at 5-5. It's going to be a force here for Team Kinetic. 2 Spectres.
No escape.
And it looks like they just want to try to go over towards the B site. Really haven't gone for just a full straight up exec here.
Noise will be made. It's going to be a very quick exec as well as they just push on through. And just going to be flashed. And they will fall. Shot through the smoke. That's massive. No players playing on site. 1 towards stairs that they have to worry about. And actually, Deadlock ult's going to find one. Going to be shot out. So they'll be kept safe by their team. Lazy Lion using the crack in the wall. He's going to be able to get the drone. Dimensional drift to get the information, but the shots need to cleanly hit. Now the kills. Oz with a close shot, and actually the shotty is not gonna land to get all the health of Goggles. Chaos. The no scope point blank range with the op finds one of the 3, but in the chaos, yet again, Kinetic come out on top and take the lead back. It will at least be neutral for them. And I've got to say it. Remember what I said earlier? This is defensive sided. Like, according to the spike, this is like 53% win rate on defense. So the fact that they've taken 6 on the attack is huge.
Already set themselves up for a good second half here.
Revealing area.
Actually, well, it was a group's effort in the last round. It's actually a pretty spread. Sovadart try to fake that a little bit as Arthur holding this one way.
Okay.
Movement.
Yep. Wall's going to utilize practically perfect timing, but the updraft is going to be used. Sage is on that tight corner. Has to back away. A little bit too much pressure. Bladestorm still in hand, but with no updraft, no means of getting over the wall. A lot of space-taking tools not really available after that little push out. Oz is there, making themselves present with the operator. There's going to be a fight in mid in just a second. That's going to be a big decider. Goggles is going to fall. 4-5. That will give some information over, but what can he do? Lack of util available. Arthur sitting on site in the back. That's going to give a lot. Damage on the Logic. There's just so much stalling power from this defensive side. Logic's going to find one fell with another, though. The Odin going crazy from Lazy Lion. Picking it up. They may have reinforced some walls, but this map is still slightly made of paper. Angie's going to be noted there. It's close. Hunter's Fury going to find one, but not able to secure a kill. The operator used the great effect. For your sake falls. Fell takes the opportunity. They aren't checking left, though. That's huge. Shot through the air, and that's going to be it. 7-5 half of heroics from Spooky and Fell at the end there.
Switching sides.
A great clutch to hold that one down. They get themselves a 7th to secure the lead here going into half number 2.
Yes, this should do.
And my God, man, is this one as close as ever.
That goes there.
They are trying as hard as they can to close it out here. They do not want to go to Corrode, where there's a little bit of unknown territory for both of these teams, but dropping over to this defense, it's going to be a lot more difficult, but still, I feel like this is where Logic might start to shine, able to really pick up that operator, but it's going to need to start here. Start with this pistol. This might just determine how the entire rest of the game goes.
Half switch. Lazy Lion gonna be the first to open proceedings here. Gotta find Logic. That's a big piece of the puzzle. Gonna be gone for Kinetic. Spell and Goggles finds 2 in response. That's a very good trade overall.
Oh, with the pinch.
And again, back and forth. Now, last 2 attackers sitting outside of B main. Not gonna be spotted yet. There we go. Is gonna be spotted. Just the back though. Lazy Lion taking a little bit of damage. They don't know where Cora is, though. That was not seen, but with that spike being planted, that should give away the fact that both are on site. timing. The Grim Wall's coming out. Does not land, but that is going to means of stopping them from entering alley. And Goggles with the swing finds 3. Spooky with the pickup on 4. And that's going to be the first round yet again, going over towards Kinetic as they put a little bit of distance between them and their opponents.
And for the first time all series, a team will pick up both pistol rounds of a map. They get themselves to an 8th round here, and one step closer to that first place trophy. And so for the other side, not going to decide to force into this. They don't want to overcommit any of their resources, play out the long game. 3 sheriffs will be brought in, so a little bit something there. But as you can see from the buy that Logic is going for, it is that operator that's going to be the priority for them.
Yet again, a lot of space taken in mid. Singing Pizza, crossfire with Market. It is being pinged, so they are aware of the players sitting there. It's going to force them to reposition a little bit. Logic playing a lot farther back now. It's Cora being the first to find a player. Fell, getting taken down. Make it 2 as Oz. Really good position. Spectre. Spooky finds 1.
How is this
For Your
happening?
Sake is going to be caught out, but is going to be able to get through. For Your Sake finds that kill. Makes it a 2v3 still. Over heel's going to help out a little bit, but it's nothing crazy now. Yes,
Oh, the collapse!
collateral!
Standing.
As the
Spike
wall
down
is
mid.
just so unfortunately misplaced behind their opponent, and the reach right For Your Sake has to get it. He knows exactly where they are, and the shots go wide. No, For Your Sake! Lazy Lion to close out the round, trading the first 2, which means that the first 4 are most likely going to be traded 2 for 2, which is probably the best you're going to get if you're Catnappers and you lose that first round. This is a winnable position for them.
Oh, what a clutch there from Lazy Lion. Just so clean with that sheriff. We've seen it time and time again, and when it matters most, they pull out
Deep breath.
the clutch there, the headshot to get the job done. And that is heartbreak for the defenders here on Ascent, but it's not going to stop them from going aggressive over towards B main. We wanted to put some pep in the step, but great grab net, and that's going to take out, yeah, Spooky. Logic has to back up here.
Now 3 defenders left. They're going to be spotted behind a very, very small wall, which means wall bangs are going to come through. Doesn't matter. Shakhtar is going to pick up Goggles. Logic's going to find 1, do a little bit of damage, but the shot's through. Arthur, and now Fell with just a shorty and a knife. What damage can you do? Oh, Oz has the read, and he's just going to be fouled. Yep, okay. I mean, that's what you expected. No buy into it. Means they're going to be able to buy out. Typically, it's traded 4-4. We do see Logic pick up the operator. I think that's the biggest piece here.
I think it is. I think you're exactly right. So I'll be able to pick up that operator and get a buy back going. And Dr. Doom calls the timeout to make sure that this team has the right strategy going in their first big rifle rounds of the half, because if they lose this one, they're investing everything. And meanwhile, the economy is booming after picking up that thrifty round in round number 14. I think,
Yeah.
honestly,
Absolutely.
it's just going to come down to not wanting to let these guys on site, because if they can get the spike down, there's so much delay if you think about it, right? The deadlock, the sage,
Oh, yeah.
the Sova, it's just so hard to retake.
Yeah, I mean, also just the wall potential from that Sage and the deadlock. Sorry, I forgot Sage's name there for a second. It just means there's so much ability to delay a retake. And plus, this defensive side, I mean, they have the Cypher, which is going to be very helpful. But, you know, Clove, Reyna, Sova, Jet, they are not defensive specialists. They are pretty much just relying on this Cypher. And I think either playing a really high line and taking aggressive fights, or playing for the retake, which is going to be difficult.
Yeah.
Going up
And
against
even
this team.
Cypher is more of an especially now after the nerfs. I mean, huge nerfs to the
Yeah.
anchoring abilities of Cypher. Like here, these kill trips, they don't really work anymore. So you have to be playing for information and it's a lot less on the delay. So I think it's going to be on the individuals once again, as well as Logic with this operator to
My
really
ult's not
find
ready.
success. But the Tron goes up towards mid, not going to be made note of. Obviously, Goggles can calm that to their team, but it looks like it might just be an attempt to try to re-clear over towards A main, push this off the line, and then go back and work towards this B site.
Yeah. Super aggressive play there. Logic having to back away. Meanwhile, on the other side, For Your Sake does actually find the player sitting in B, but will be felled. Lazy Lion catching them off guard as they're trying to run away. Does have Spike, so everything over on A was just a bit of a fake out.
They're execing here. There's only 2 players.
Yeah, the rotate is super slow. They're gonna get the door down, but it's gonna be broken. They're very slowly taking the site though. Spooky gets hit with the deadlock. Will they be able to get them out in time? Yeah, they will, but they're in such an awkward position. It's a 2v2 now. Operator as well in the hands, but it doesn't matter. Fell finds the kill on the Oz. Arthur, no utility.
Spike planted.
Is gonna get the spike down, but this wall is gonna give them so much time. There we go.
No peeking.
Only one smoke to use. They have no information on to where Arthur is playing.
Found him.
Well, that's gonna give away their location. Yeah. It's gonna catch someone. Fell, but it doesn't matter. Logic sitting on the corner, sitting on the stairs with the operator, just waits patiently. They're gonna give the defuse over to Logic as well, get that Blade Storm online. As yeah, it's split 2 and 2.
And honestly,
Should be another full buy
retake
round.
there. A great retake, Soren, I gotta say. But I loved the idea coming into the round from Catnappers, right? You put a lot of pressure early over towards B main, and then go and re-clear that space. Timeout actually is going to be called after that one. Don't think Cora was happy with how that round ended up going. So it's just, I'm not sure, because they went to re-clear the op off the line and get Arthur the Annihilation, and then go back towards B. But I think it was Lazy Lion and Oz who just went way ahead. They were going out on site while the teammates were back in attacker spawn. So it was just disconnected there, and they need to get those ideas together, because if not, it's just going to be these players like Logic, like Goggles, just picking these players apart whenever they're executing onto site.
Yeah, absolutely. And we have been seeing a very aggressive start from the side of Kinetic. They are kind of adapting. Oh my, if you look over in the mini map, sorry, I just see a host of pings on B. So yeah, I think Cora was definitely not happy with how that round played out, giving a little bit of instruction, but it looks like B is going to be where they want to hit. But we've been seeing a super aggressive position from Kinetic to start pretty much every one of these rounds. Very similar to what we saw over on like Lotus and Haven, where they would play very heavily towards one side, play super aggressive. There's rubber fights that they were well known for. We're seeing something similar, but it's a lot of For Your Sake playing super aggressively like we see over in B main. But this exec looks like it's going to be happening fast. You're not going to give them any room to push forward. And that's, yeah, okay. They are going to find the Yoru. Won't fall for the fake out. 2 immediately fall. Lazy Lion does find Spooky, though. Big piece of their information is going to be taken out, but in the process, so many of them fall, and they take a lot of damage, so they're going to back away. The push stalls, and they have to rotate off.
That was all off the back of, you could see it was the paranoia nerf, actually, allowing For Your Sake to still spot out Oz there after the teleport went through. And so it's a disadvantageous situation here. No duelist to break the crosshair of this operator.
Okay.
It's this defensive setup looks so difficult to get through.
Yeah. I mean, almost every means of entry to their sites are blocked off, but that will give a lot of information away. But Lazy Lion has to read, but Goggles sitting in the back is going to do what they can. Find 2, and now 2v1. Angie has to do it. Super low, 36 health remaining. The wall remaining from the deadlock is going to help out. I don't know if they're going to have the read on Logic. That DK will hit, but it doesn't matter. Logic sitting there waiting patiently, trading out the op, but is able to pick it back up. Double digits as Kinetic They're slowly crawling towards a victory here on map 4.
No radiant for you, wee man.
3 rounds away from taking home first place in the Tenax Series 5.
I've earned it.
And it has been, I mean, since that timeout, it has looked so great. 3 diffuses for their round victories here. You can see why. I mean, again, these 2v1 situations, it seems like Kinetic does not lose them. Always sticking together, playing the percentage play. And this operator as well, it's just been so great at locking down these sightlines and just giving an extra layer of defense towards Team Kinetic. And so we'll actually post over towards top mid, the TP up top on the box, and gets flashed off for the time being, so has to back away.
Alrighty, we do hear that Empress pop from For Your Sake. Again, sitting very advanced in B main, waiting for a push out. Does have a little bit of assistance from, I believe, Goggles on that Cypher. So there's the possibility, yep, they will shoot through. Will be spotted, but For Your Sake hasn't. They might be a little bit careless, and they will. Logic finds one in mid. They'll get the revive, and it's gonna be a collateral because they stood in front of the person they just revived. Oh no, it's collapsing around them. And now 2 attackers left standing, split on either side. Angie's gonna give away the location. But man, Cypher with a neural theft to confirm this round. It's gonna be so much information given as
I
they
think
both
they just
try
might have to save here, Soren.
It probably will. Lazy Lion. Oh, trying to jump peek. What are you doing? It's gonna fall, and that's Spike too, so they know where Spike is. We see the swarm out. They know where the Omen was last as well. They're gonna take the opportunity to get the orb since the Spike has been planted. This is a tragedy. Yep, have to breathe here, and yep, there it is. Fell to close it. 11 rounds on the board. It was a buyout too, so they're gonna be working with scraps here.
Tragic, but a beautiful play as well to just shut that down. And I loved the bait that For Your Sake went for in D main. Having Spooky break all that util, and just wasn't enough. Or there wasn't enough to clear it, I guess. And so now into round number 18, they have to force down is Catnappers. They only have 1 Phantom. They're going to try to force their way onto this A site. They do have 2 big ults. They have the Dimensional Drift. They had the Hunter's Fury, so that you can combo those together to spot out these players and ping them out. But how effective does it be? That's the floor.
Yeah, that's the floor. A little bit low. Dimensional Drift was used to get onto site, crash in. It doesn't matter. For Your Sake finds one, but a shot from the Stinger are going wide. For Your Sake is still alive. They haven't dealt with them though. They're still sitting on Generator. They did find one with the Deadlock ultimate. Fell. Needs to do what they can. Running out of time. Needs to find a kill very quickly here to get their team back to level. Taking a lot of shock dart damage, and now it's a 1v3. Operator still in hand. They still have not dealt with Oz, who crashed on the site. What's happening? There's just not a lot of communication, I guess. No one even looks that way. Only an operator in hand. No means of trading out weaponry. Is gonna be spotted. Gonna be able to be shot to the wall. They're gonna be back away. Is this not a save? I guess they have the money, but still. This is such a terrible position. They have no means of trading it out. So much stall potential. No means of getting over the wall. Yeah, they just need to back away. Save the operator.
They have to.
That's exactly what they'll do.
3 players surviving here in the ends. I say that, but Logic might go for this peek. Not going to spot out that Arthur already crossed, but off the back of that Dimensional Drift, it was so chaotic. I thought For Your Sake surely was going to get that kill onto Oz after the whiff, but Oz ended up picking up 2 frags in a position where they realistically should get 0. And that just flipped it on its head. The Annihilation came out on top of it, and sure, they used all their ults, but they saved themselves from being put onto match point. Gave themselves a little extra breathing room here, Soren. It's the best they could have asked for.
I don't know if they thought that Oz had been killed by For Your Sake or if it wasn't calmed, but 2 players rush out of those doors and they just don't look left. even though they were already seen around generator, just no one looked for us, which means they just get those free kills. 2 of them. It's just okay. They do have the read that time. For your sake, just waiting patiently. Goggles picks up a second with that dart. Doesn't see anyone in particular, but they have
that
the
shock
read.
dart.
They're trying for it. The heal will come out. They try to take this fight again in mid, and Goggles finds his second on the round. Goggles finds his third on the round, and now with 1 player left, Spike is out in the open. They have no information. No, how they do. They'll get 2. They almost lined up, but Angie can't find the kills. And just like that, it's series point here in the grand finals of the Tenax series season 5. Kinetic knocking on Destiny's door.
So close here towards the finish line. And Catnappers are just going to try to get anything they can going here. They have 4 chances to keep themselves alive in this series. At least in this map for the time being. But Logic takes down Oz. Rips off the head of the spear.
A lot of damage done to Lazy Lion, having to invest that heal from the stage so early.
I can't use that.
The rotation has been very swift. And it looks like they still are kind of hesitant on where they want to go. If they go A, they're going to be running into a wall here.
But the camera spots pretty much all of mid. No smoke to disincentivize. Finally broken. Smoke over towards Cat as well. But
Shock dart.
they still need to do a lot of work to try to draw these rotates out. You have 3 players stacked up towards A. That is going to be the final destination. Logic with this operator in tree. How is it dealt with?
It's not Cora. The one to fall, a big piece of the puzzle. Lazy Lion as well. The 2 top fraggers from last game. The players that drug them over the line at times. Arthur falls as well. Goggles finds Angie. And that's it. It's done. It's dusted. As Team Kinetic are your grand finalists. Your champions of the 10X Series Season 5. Oh my.
Congratulations to Team Kinetic. A wonderful 3-1 victory here in the grand finals. And what a close affair it was today, Soren. I felt like we were definitely treated to a great match. But Ascent, they just couldn't, or excuse me, Catnappers just couldn't get it across the line there. And they fall 13-8. But geez, man, the individual performances from these players, absolutely stunner, as well as the mental resilience from Kinetic to bounce back after binds. Just you gotta love to see it. You gotta love to see it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, yeah, you gotta give a massive credit. Obviously, Catnap is the first team to really take a map off of this Kinetic side since the first one, which felt more like a fluke, especially after the next 2 series were 13-2s. So not only taking a map off, but looking very strong. They could have won map 2 as well. I mean, this is a very good team from Catnappers. Is a very good performance, but unfortunately, Kinetic were just riding the momentum. They were just so solid all throughout yesterday, and they come in today. We talked about how they looked like they hadn't missed a step in game number 1, and finally we see them, stumble a little bit in 2 and 3, but they were just still on it. I really think I don't, especially we didn't see a single timeout from them in the last game, in game number 3.
Yeah.
They start slipping in game number 4. They get that timeout, and the moment we see that timeout, it's like the switch flips. So, just an incredible performance from Kinetic, a really good performance from Catnappers, but it's really difficult to deal with a team when you're just firing on all that on that level.
Yeah, it really is hard. And I mean, all of these players did a phenomenal job, especially Logic coming in and stepping up as that duelist player, especially on that last map of Ascent with the operator really being the difference maker, I think, here at the end of the day. So congratulations to Team Kinetic for that victory.
Now here with one of our champions, for your sake, otherwise known as Oppie. Oppie, first of all, tell me, how does it feel? You are a Tenax series champion here for season 5.
It feels good. Honestly, 3 days ago, I didn't even know I was going to play in Tenax. So, it's a little bit of a nice surprise.
I think we might be having a little bit of technical difficulty, so I'll ask the next question. Um, Obviously, buying did not really go your way, but that was really the only big stumble that you and your team had. So, what was the mental like, both during bind and after that map when you were going into Ascent? Because obviously, the team put it back together for the last map, but it must have been rough in the middle there.
Yeah, I mean, Bind is like one of those maps where you have to play super slow, you have to play super macro. This team is essentially a pug team, so it doesn't really mesh well. So we went back to like the arena, the pug like ranked comps, and it just worked a lot better.
Yeah, for sure. Speaking of, I want to touch on that ascent that you guys had because it was honestly a pretty dominant way to close it out there. But for a little bit, I felt like the attack side kind of got lost for you guys. But what kind of allowed you guys to push it over the edge against that double sentinel composition? Because there's a lot of delay there with both deadlock
Mhm.
and safe walls.
So going in like the first 3 rounds, you noticed like we were basically running it down. I had collegiate practice and we were running behind. So I was like, let's 13-0, win fast. I can get out and go to my practice.
I love that. I love that for you. I mean, not quite 13-0, but still, at least we didn't go 5 maps for you. So you guys can get some good practice in later. But I also want to talk a little bit about that Haven match because it was super, super close. And it was the first time that we actually saw your guys' coach, Dr. Doom, call a timeout. And after that, it looked to me that you guys kind of switched up your approach to really try to break those cipher trips and work that map. And that really kind of turned the map around for you guys to end up coming back and winning 13-11. Was that the adjustment that you guys were talking about making, or what was the change that really pushed you guys over the edge?
Yeah. I called to, play more default, break util, play a bit smarter on the map. I know, at least for me, I was not really using my brain. I was kind of just running around for fun. So
Yeah,
like it was like a little bit of a wake up call and a little bit of a breather and kind of
yeah.
like let us lock in.
For sure, for sure. And I think some of that I do want to ask because you swap between the Reyna and the Viper, which I feel like are two very different play styles. Do you think that's a little bit of why it might be hard to like swap back and forth between like the heavy lurking and then like the run it down Reyna style play?
Um, well, I used to be a duelist player, so I understand like that role very well. I like to just run it down for fun. And like within the past months, I've really like learned the game and like understood how to play it properly. So I've started to play like different roles, and like Viper is like one of my most favorite agents. I love Viper,
Yeah,
so I'll play whatever whenever chance I get.
for sure.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. Absolutely. And I think last question that we got for you, I obviously have to give you your time. Is there anyone on the team, friends, family you want to give a shout out to?
Honestly, everybody on the team, like they're all great. Spooky used to be my old teammate on Prosperity for a while, so shout out to her. Goggles, WIGL, fell just an amazing shooter all around. Logic, just cracked, and then faded for like bringing me on the roster.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I want to give a special thanks to you for joining us here for the interview. It's always nice to hear from the teams and the winners. Massive congratulations to you for your win. Go enjoy your evening as a champion. But
Thank you.
with that being said, I think that is everything we have for you guys tonight. Thank you so much for watching at home. Special thanks to Cecilius in the back on the producing role and the observing, pulling double duty, making all the magic happen on screen. Of course, massive shout out to Zero here, I believe, on my my left, right, it's one of the two, for being an amazing color and making sure I'm not messing up. And of course, the TOs for happening, the TOs for making everything happen behind the scenes, the players for coming out and showing out and making every match memorable and fun. And of course, to you guys watching at home, the viewers, because if you're not watching, what are we doing it for? Thank you so much for watching. Until next time. Also, massive shout out to all the admins for making everything happen behind the scenes. Thank you so much. We will see you guys next time. Have a good night.
Bienvenidos a Madrid. Eso no. We are here.